are the Stream of Wisdom, and this is our Thursday night class. So tonight's class, we're going to be finishing up a class that we did on Tuesday, and we did that class on Facebook, just about releasing the shackles, right? Breaking down strongholds. So releasing the shackles, breaking down strongholds. And this is basically part 2 of that class. So we intend to finish that class tonight just to give the sister because it came from a question. Class came from a question, right? So we're going to go into the class topic tonight, which is releasing the shackles. But just to give a few announcements real quick. Of course, if you've been watching us, you know we got the 4 schools. We got the Houston location, which is 1550. That's the new address, right? Yes. All right, so that's the Houston location, which is 1550 Ken Forest Drive, Missouri City, Texas. And their classes are Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays from 7 to 9 p.m. And there's Sabbath morning classes at 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then you got Virginia, which is 2016 Granby Street. That's Norfolk, Virginia. That's Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. And then Rochester, which is us, with 1600 Lyle Ave. Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. And our Shabbat noon class starts at 12 noon to 4 p.m. Right? And you got San Antonio, of course. That's 444 Walsham Road, Suite 201. So their class days are Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 7:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. And their Shabbat classes are same time as Houston, which is 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And then, of course, right now, we got the Feast of Dedications coming up, which is Hanukkah. That's Deuteronomy. That's Feast of Dedication, which is December 24th sundown to January 1st sundown, right? So that's the Feast of Dedications, which is Hanukkah, December 24th sundown to January 1st sundown. So that's an 8-day feast, right? And everybody that's online watching, you're more than welcome to come to one of those states. You know, if you can just communicate, let the brother know so that you're coming down, so that we can plan ahead for your coming. And then you get to plan ahead because it's only what? The 12th, right? It's only the 12th right now. So being that it's only the 12th, you still have time to plan for a trip. You still got time to ask your boss for a break. Or if you got your own business, you still got time to plan ahead. Say, okay, I'm gonna do this amount of jobs, and then around this time, I'm gonna make sure I set it up to where I can go take a trip. I did enough jobs to stock up for the next week, right? Just to make time for the Lord. So that's an opportunity that brothers and sisters have. And of course, on April 12th, that'll be the Passover, and that we'll start, when that gets closer and closer, we'll start talking about that as well. But we will be having an expo on the April 13th, which is the day after Passover. So Passover will be on April 12th, but the day after Passover, we're going to be having an expo, which is on April 13th, right, where brothers and sisters can come. They're going to have different Israelite material, like you're going to have garments, armbands, vests, denim jackets, dicky sets, but with fringes and different designs that the sisters come up with. So there's going to be different things that you can get, and even for the sisters, there's going to be things for the women too as well. So it's going to be an experience. It's going to be an experience. So take advantage of that. But I know it's 8:22. I don't want to go too long with the announcements. So let's go straight to the topic. I just want to at least get the school information out there and then the feast days. But let's get straight to the topic.
The lights.
Hmm?
You were talking about the lights last time?
The lights?
Yeah, and sharing the video.
Oh, share the class. Share the class, like, share. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe. But like and share to all your family members so that, they can tune in. Tune in the same way you tuning in, right? God. You say you love your mom, you say you love your dad. Well, share some good wisdom with them. Share the class with them. Get it across the board because, it's about getting the Most High's word out too. So, throw out.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, like and share. All right, so let's go into it. I think the last point we finished at was, where do strongholds come from? Right? Who was that? Where do strongholds come from? And so with that one, right? We're gonna recap a little bit, just for the brothers and sisters that weren't here, because I know not everybody was catching Facebook. So some people probably just tuning in this Thursday on the class. So let's go to that first verse we went to that on Tuesday. So it's 1 Peter chapter 4 verse 3. Right? So this first point is titled, where do strongholds come from? Walking in darkness you can put, where do strongholds come from? Question mark. Then the answer is walking in darkness / your upbringings. Right? So we have 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 3. 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 3. Everybody there?
God.
Let's get it.
1 Peter chapter 4 verse 3.
Uh-huh.
For the time past of our lives may sacrifice us to have wrought the will of the Gentiles.
Right. So in the time past, we used to live like Gentiles. We used to think we were Gentiles. Right? Some people's churches used to teach that they were Gentiles. That blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right? If you used to grow up in the church. Some churches used to actually teach that. And I've heard it just in conversation, through the time. Yeah, we're the Gentiles, the Lord grafted us in. The Jewish people are God's chosen people. I've heard it just in passing, somebody start talking to me about God. But we used to think that we're those people. We were those Gentiles. But now the Most High has woken us up, right? And he says, in time past, it sufficed. And we went to that definition about suffice. And suffice means something that satisfies a need, right?
God.
But in the time past, what used to suffice our needs? Let's see if everybody remember from Tuesday. What used to suffice our needs in the past without the wisdom?
Like weed, drinking.
All right, say it a little louder just for everybody online.
Like weed, drinking, whoremongering.
Uh-huh.
Like
Weed, drinking,
yeah,
whoremongering.
just like the wicked world. That's all.
Right.
The wicked world vices.
Weed, drinking, whoremongering, right? Thievery, right? Murder, rob. You got something on your.
Oh yeah, like we was talking about last time. Anger.
There you go.
Frustration.
Anger, frustration. These things used to suffice.
Yeah.
All right, staying to yourself.
Yeah.
That sufficed. Right, being a loner.
Yeah.
That sufficed. Fighting all the time. Like we was talking to a brother right before I left the mall today, and he was telling his story about how he used to be in New York. But he's from Rochester, but he used to be in New York, and he was always fighting, getting into fights. He joined. He didn't want to. He was trying to be. He's like, you either gonna be a blood, you either gonna be a Crip, or you're gonna be neutral. Right? The people that I didn't like, they ended up becoming Crips. So I was like, I might as well be a blood. And that's basically how he became a blood. And this is a 40-year-old man talking about it, but he's talking about it in celebratory fashion. But really, because at the end, he started talking, and I was like, listen, we do ministry work. Because he was like, man, I like you guys. Man, y'all look cool. I like, we do ministry work. We teach the Bible. He's like, oh, okay. He's like, I need to change. I need to change. But I still, I'm willing to, I'm ready to change, but, I still got to be on my bullet. I got, if just somebody try me. I was like, nah, if you want to change, you got to let it go, let all that go.
God.
You got to let that whole lifestyle go.
Yeah.
Listen, there's another way to where you can better defend yourself. Let the Lord defend you.
God.
I'm willing to change. See, I'm willing to change. I'm willing to. It's just, nah, we gotta be willing to let that go. And then he go on. He said, so if I join your religion, I said, it's not religion, it's your culture. He said, do I gotta let go of pork? He's like, that's the one thing, right? But these things suffice to our people: pork and drama.
Yeah.
Because most of his conversation was about drama and his joy for it. That was the highlight of his life, though. Fighting and playing basketball. That was the two highlights of his life.
Yeah.
But that was sufficing him.
Yeah.
He felt whole with that.
And then the brother that his name is the prophet that came by.
The prophet.
Remember he came by, he stopped by at the cart. That's what his nickname is. He called himself the prophet. But the heavyset brother. He was kind of husky. He was his suffice is like putting and he might not know it, putting his wife above everything.
Yeah.
Oh, you
talking about the brother with the glasses?
The glasses, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Cause he stopped by.
He put his wife above the Lord.
He don't even know.
He do it without knowing.
Yeah.
Yeah. This somebody. He basically what he's talking about. Somebody that we met in the mall, nicknamed himself the prophet, and he knows the truth, but he don't realize that he spends a lot of time investing his energy more so into his wife than anything. And that's literally the central focus of his life. But that's basically all he has going on.
Yeah.
That's basically all he has going on. He's not doing it intentionally. He don't realize that that's what he's doing. He's just that's all he is motoring off and about his wife. But these things suffice her. That's what sufficed him because she was there with him after he came out of prison. I think he was during, right?
Yeah,
Or after or during?
During.
Oh, you know him too?
Oh, she was there. He came back and told us more stories.
Oh, okay.
With his wife being there.
Okay. So these are two different instances. So Uriah meets him one time with me, and he's talking about his wife. Then him and Azariah meets him another time, and he's talking about his wife with his wife.
Yeah. The whole focus. He was talking about the point of like when I guess it was her brother that told him that she was cheating on him, and he kept like whispering that evil seed in his ear until he's finally believed it, and then he just went out with it, started being a whoremonger because he was mad about that.
Oh, him?
Yeah, him.
Okay.
And then this was his younger days, and then he
yeah, he's an older man now.
yeah, and then he slowed down because he told his aunt. He told he really counseled with his aunt and told her because he was keeping it from everybody.
Right.
Because they was like, man, she's a good woman. You should marry her, man. Don't lose her. Don't let her slip through your fingers.
Oh.
She do everything for you. And but all these other women, they don't do that. They just want to take from you. She actually want your best interest.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta tell her the truth. I gotta tell her what I did, just my whoremongering ways. She was like, huh? I ain't say all that. Don't do all that now. I ain't tell you to do it. Don't do all that.
He said that.
Don't do all that. He's like, nah, I got to. I got to be truthful. I've been truthful since the whole relationship.
But I just want to say this, because I know you're explaining, kind of going deep into the story a little bit. But that's basically what suffices him.
Yeah.
His woman. She's his strength. You know, when the Bible says he'll give not strength unto a woman, that's basically what he does. He gives his strength to a woman, but that's supposed to be the past. Yeah. You know, he just knows the knowledge. He never been really around a body in this dynamic that we're doing now.
Yeah.
So because even the brothers that he kind of scattered around with, they just kind of everywhere. You know, there's no set foundation or structure. But the point is, without taking away from the point, is that what? He's sufficed by that. He's sufficed by a woman. He's good. He thinks his life is the greatest thing right now. Not realizing that there's more to it. He's sufficed by his woman. Right? The other brother sufficed by his past life. But now he deals with diabetes. Right? He got the vision blurred in one eye. But he's like, he knows he need that change. Right? He's dealing with a situation right now where his house just got burnt down. I'm talking about the brother that we just met in the mall today. His house just got burned down, so now he's in a hotel. So he wants to invite us to go play Madden at his hotel with him. Nah, he got folks gonna get things together. Yeah, but you see where he's at though. He wants to play Madden instead of focusing on how to get this life together. Forget the past. But that's what our people was. That's what our people was focused on.
Yeah.
He was focused on, I used to, I was short. Another guy, it's short man syndrome. Oh yeah. I was short, I had to defend myself. This is the second time we hear that in 1 week. I had to defend myself, I had to make sure nobody, they had to know. They gotta know they can't mess with me. Right. I ain't gonna win them all because I'm short, but I gotta make sure they know. Right. That when you talking about that was making him smile. When we first brought him over, he had a little mean mug, but then he turned to smiling when he started talking about the things he used to do. In 97 and 99. Right. I don't mean to laugh, but think about that. That's yeah. 20, how many years is that?
20 plus.
That's 20 plus years ago. Yeah. He's talking about something. He's 40 now. He cherishing those moments. Crazy. But that suffices our people. And he built bonds with people based off that. Fighting and arguing, right? You ain't let him punk you, so because you ain't let him punk you, I respect that. He was a real, one.
Yeah, we get stuck as a people.
Yeah.
And it doesn't occur to us to evolve.
Wow.
Yes.
You said a key word. We get stuck. The sister said, I don't know if you heard her online, but she said we get stuck as a people. And we don't realize that we're supposed to be evolving.
Right. Out of that stuff that that was
Right.
important. It should no longer be, but we can't see that.
Yeah, that was you.
We can't.
He was young.
Yeah, that was me.
All
at
them stories
1.2.
when he was young.
That was me at 1.2.
Right, all of us.
Yeah.
All of us, right?
Yeah.
And not realizing that you got to evolve,
Yeah.
and that it's gonna take work and effort,
Right.
right? And he knows that though. At least that little piece of him
Right.
knows that he has to change. Knows that he has to change. And it's because the Lord run it down. You got the diabetes, the house burned, then you got your kid out not in the house that you used to have, right? So he think about all that. So all that's running down. Because as soon as he talked about that, about well, we said something about ministry, we do the ministry work, we teach the Bible, we teach how people we need to get together, we need to change, right? We need to grow. It's about becoming new. You know, because he's talking about all those stuff, so I'm just saying you gotta become new. And he's like, yeah. Then that's when his countenance was like changed. He's like, yeah, I'm going through some things right now, man. I need some change. See, I love y'all already. Yeah, but because we start talking about the Bible. But he knows he need that change. Now people be knowing that, but they don't know what step to take. They don't know what step to take, but that's what the verse is saying. So I want you to read that again.
1 Peter chapter 4, verse 3.
Right? So we finished in the class from Tuesday, and we're on the point where it says, where do strongholds come from? That's the point that we're on. Let's read that.
For the time past of our lives.
So, but we keep looking in the past. That's why we stuck in the past.
Right.
And that's why this next word, read.
May suffice us.
That's why it used to suffice us. Because we like to look in the past, because we don't feel like we got anything going forward for us. Because you're just going through the motions. Some people just do what? They go from job to job. Go from Walgreens to CVS to what's the Rite Aid. They build a career based off of that lane of just being an associate in that sense. And they go from these different types of buildings that you could become a pharmacist in to just being a regular cashier. And they never think about evolving even in that. Literally. Some people go 20 years working in Walmart. They find their wife in Walmart. They find their husband in Walmart. Literally. 20 years and they still doing what? Just the regular associate job. They didn't think about being a supervisor. They didn't think about none of that. They were sufficed with where they was at. And in the anger. They see their anger is messing them up with job situations, messing up their dynamic with their family relationship, messing up their stability, right? Messing up their focus, messing up their interaction. Now you can't even build relationships because why? Nobody want to do business with you because you got a temper. They don't want to do anything with you because you got a temper. They don't even want to hang out with you. We go play basketball with you and your temper, you're going to get us into a fight. Because of your temper. And they'll know that. But still say what? I'm not going to change. Because they're sufficed by that. But it says, like the point is going into, right? Where do strongholds come from? Come from your childhood. They come from your upbringing. They come from walking in that darkness even after you step outside of the house. And that's what he said too. He went on to say, and I'm gonna let you finish that first, and I'm gonna say what he said. But go ahead.
May suffice us to have wrought the will of the Gentiles.
But we don't realize that those mindsets, those are the mindset of a Gentile, meaning of another nation.
Gone.
He said, I was raised to be a beast by my family, you know? Because basically he had what? Basically his family, a bunch of his upbringing is just streets. His life is just streets, right? His mom told him to be how to be a beast. Everything's about being rough and fighting. His whole life story basically told us his whole life story. His whole life story is based off fighting. Fighting and gang violence and getting respect based off of fighting. And hurt people.
Right.
This guy got a thrill. He got a dopamine off of recanting the story where he had a bat. No, not a bat. He was in a group home.
Yeah, group home.
He was in a group home a year ago before he set up a plan for himself where he broke a piece of the wood off of the bed frame, because the bed frame was wood, stepped on it, broke it. He taped it around with nails and put it under his bed just in case anything happened. And he used it a year later. Now he's describing the story like it's a good thing. But this is just what our people deal with. They grew up what? Doing the will of the Gentiles. Who's beastly like that? To where you can get a wood thing, tape it around with nails, and hit somebody.
Esau.
And recant the story years later like it was a joyous story. Esau. He just did it. Thanksgiving. Or Thanksgiving, right? They just recanted a massacre. They just recanted a massacre right in front of our face. Every time they make a slave movie, they recant massacres. Right in your face. But it's always about the slaves being downtrodden. They didn't like when, what was that actor who made The Birth of a Nation?
What's his name?
Nat Turner?
Nat Turner.
Nat Turner.
His name is
Nate
Parker.
Nate Parker.
Yeah.
Something Parker. I think it's Nate Parker.
Might be Nate Parker.
Might be Nate Parker. But as soon as he did that, they bring up some allegations from him when he was in college of him messing with a woman. As soon as he did that movie, they were trying to cancel his movie in all the movie theaters that it was coming out of. But think about that. Our brother over here recanting stories of him hammering other brothers, breaking doors down on other brothers, as if it was a good thing. But when our past time, it suffices us to do the will of the Gentiles. That's the will of the Gentiles. They want to see us hurt each other. They want to see us murder each other. They want to see us live in the Willie Lynch and like that lifestyle. But the Most High is doing what? He's breaking down the strongholds. But we're finding out where it comes from. The upbringing. Because he started off by saying his family raised him to be a beast. So that's how he knows to be a beast. That's how he knows to protect himself. That's how he knows to communicate. It's like a beast. But he realized he got to change though. And that's where we're at right now. So as we're finding out where do strongholds come from, we got to realize that, and I'm going to read this statement again. It says, strongholds are often deeply rooted. Strongholds are often deeply rooted. And just to say for everybody online, no, we established it clearly when we was on Tuesday. But we know strongholds is basically a demonic attack. You're basically being attacked by demons. Right? And demons are trying to sway your brain from it to accepting negative thoughts. So when it says a stronghold can develop over time from past experience, society's expectations, and your personal beliefs. His personal belief was he was raised to be a beast. That was his personal belief.
Yep.
And then he was going off of society's expectations. I'm a short man, so I have to defend myself. Because the big dudes, the tall dudes, are going to try to bully me because I'm short. And then he said what? From his past experiences, the things that he's seen, the things that he's been around. He's been around nothing but street people. Right? But anybody's dynamic. Now that's just the streets. How much more you been around somebody that's what? Selfish? Because these are things that people don't look at as wrong. Selfish. Somebody that's angry. You've been around people that's been physically abusive. Been around people that's what? Verbally abusive. Then you start to develop strongholds. They call them coping mechanisms or defense mechanisms to do what? To get through your situations. And I'm gonna read that definition for everybody. But these coping mechanisms and these defense mechanisms are, you start to have a fear of failure. So you constantly in fear of failure. I'm gonna read it again. It says constantly believing you will not succeed, leading to avoidance of challenges. Then you get a low self-esteem, which is a deep-seated belief that you are not worthy or valuable. Then you got the perfectionism, which it comes from the guilt of you doing wrong, and you trying to get right, but you don't know, you ain't trying to put the work in to get right, or you don't know how to get right, and then you fight against the help that's trying to show you how to get right. But then you try to be perfect. An unrelenting need to achieve flawlessness, leading to stress and anxiety. But that's how you know you're striving for change the wrong way. You keep running, or you're using the wrong method to try to change because you're giving into stress. You're giving to the stress and you're giving to the anxiety. No fruit come from it in your thoughts. No peace of mind come from it in your mind. Right? True peace at least. Right? Because you can't hold on to anger and say, I still got to use my anger as a tactic to fight through and get through life. Because if I don't have anger with me, then somebody won't just run over me. You can't say you're going to use that as a tactic. You got to learn to lean on the Father. Right? But let me read this definition of stronghold just so for everybody online. Because a stronghold is basically a demonic attack. Right? A stronghold is a harmful thought pattern. A stronghold is a harmful thought pattern, attitude, or idea that prevents a person from thinking clearly. A stronghold is a harmful thought pattern, attitude, or idea that prevents a person from thinking clearly. But what do demons do? They stop you from thinking clearly.
Right.
They hinder your thinking, your thought process. That's where evil suspicion comes from. Right? That's where frustration comes from. That's where sloth comes from. And these are the words that I called out, those are the mental games that we play on ourselves with strongholds.
Yeah.
But there's also physical manifestations of them too. Things that you do in the physical with your body, right? So you got fear, failure, low self-esteem, perfectionism. Then the other word is negative self-talk, which is constantly criticizing yourself with internal dialogues like I'm not good enough, right? You got negative, what they call them mantras, right? Negative mantras.
Affirmation?
Negative affirmations.
Yeah.
Right? You got negative affirmations for yourself instead of positive ones. Right? And then you got procrastination. Putting things off until the last minute due to overwhelming feelings. And then sometimes you don't even do it at the last minute. You just say, forget it. Forget about it. Whatever comes, comes. Correction comes, it comes. I'm going to take it. Right? Whatever comes with it comes. I don't care. Because you just that overwhelmed and you let the overwhelmness take away your hope. That's what happens. You let being overwhelmed take away the hope. So, and then there's the last word, unforgiveness. Unforgiveness is holding on to anger and resentment towards others. Holding on to anger and resentment towards others, causing emotional distress. Right? And that comes from that what? When you get the brothers and sisters were saying last time, right? The negligence of your parents, you hold anger against them for that. The parents that sent you into the foster care, you hold resentment for that, right? The physical, the mental, the spiritual abuse, you hold resentment for that. But the Most High is about us learning to deal with our issues. And when we understand where trauma comes from, when we understand what these strongholds come from, these demons, how these demons learn to attack you and how to latch onto you, it's from us accepting these thoughts. Fear, failure, low self-esteem, perfectionism, negative self-talk, procrastination, and unforgiveness. All these things are how demons learn to latch onto you when you give into those mind states. So we're at this point where now we're talking about, well, where do strongholds come from? Let's go to that Romans. Oh, did you finish that? Finish that verse, and we can go to the next one. Romans chapter 7, verse 14.
When we walk in lasciviousness, lust, exceeding of wine.
And so it can come from your upbringing, but it also can come from what you give yourself to as a vice. Lasciviousness, over-sexualization, you on the porn. We was highlighting it last time, right? You over on the porn. Well, you on the porn, period. Then you go from you get bored on the what? The base level of a man and a woman. Then you gotta watch a man with multiple women, and you gotta watch a woman with multiple women. I mean, that too. And all these different forms of multiple sexual partners. You gotta watch all that to get the stimulation. Yeah. Then it goes keep transitioning, and then you end up being a male that's looking at straight men. I mean, you end up being a straight man looking at gay porn. Yeah. And you start to look at men differently. You start to look at them sweating, and you start to be attracted to that. But at one point in time, you weren't. But what happened to it? What happened to you? You gave yourself over to the lasciviousness. And it turned into an inordinate affection, which is an affection that's not natural. Right. So an inordinate, aka out of order affection, an out of order emotion, an emotion that's not godly. Yep. So you walked yourself right into danger through lasciviousness, but it's because you didn't know the law, you didn't know the word, you didn't know the truth. But the Most High has given us this opportunity to get the word, to get the knowledge, so that as we're figuring out what these strongholds are, and if one of these words on these lists and in these scriptures can pertain to what you're dealing with, you're supposed to say, let me go get the help and change. Let me go get the help so I can change. Let me go get the help so I can overcome this emotion, this doubt, this feeling that's trying to overwhelm me, to make me just stay stagnant and accept defeat. Because the truth ain't about accepting defeat. The truth is about solutions. Because the Most High offers us up solutions that are sure fact. Sure fact meaning they work. We just gotta trust in, try, and put effort forth. But right now we're on this point where what? Where do they come from? So read that Romans chapter 7, verse 14.
Romans chapter 7, verse 14. For we know that the law is spiritual.
The law is spiritual. Meaning what? If I look into the word, right? If I look into what the Most High tells me to do and not do, there will be a benefit. It will help me in my mentality. It will help me in my perspective. Because I won't be polluted. Like we were just highlighting about the porn. Right? Or Take away the point. The frustration, the anger, the sloth. When you think about all these things, they latch onto you because why? You start to give yourself over to things that you desire. You let your body be overpowered by sin. You let your body be overpowered by the weakness. And we was pointing out those things. That failure, right? Because you're doing what? You don't want to get up. You're lazy, right? And then you're lazy because you're beating yourself up. You don't think you can do it. I'll do it later. You know what? I ain't gonna never change my diet. I ain't gonna never fix my I ain't gonna never learn how to be a good father.
Doubtful.
You're doubtful. You play with doubt, and then it eats you up. But it can come from your upbringing, but it can come from the things you choose to give yourself to. That weed kills your motivation. It kills your drive. Right? I mean, that video, it's a potent video with the lady where she breaks down the different parts of the brain that weed affects.
Yep.
When you inhale it. You know, what she was talking, she was using all these words to mess with your prefrontal cortex.
Yep.
Right? Your thinking. It messes with your decision making. It messes you up to where now you can't think clear. That's why the Most High said we are supposed to be sober-minded. But when you got that marijuana in the system, it does what? It messes up your focus. Which is what? Turns into procrastination. And the procrastination, you start to just put things off. And you get to a certain point where you're not putting nothing off no more. Now you just ain't doing things. At all. Now you're just not putting no mental space for something new to come into you. Now you're not thinking about your responsibilities. Today I gotta cook, today I gotta clean, today I gotta wash clothes, today I gotta take the car to the cleaner, so today I gotta deal with my daughter, deal with my son, right? You're not thinking about the responsibilities no more. Right? Oh, today's the 5th, the bill coming up. I gotta make sure I don't spend this amount of money, to make sure I have this amount of money, to make sure that the rent is paid. Right? You stop thinking because you start to procrastinate. And you start to procrastinate because you start to let that weight of overwhelming feelings come over you. But it's the things that we run to as a vice that feeds the demon. So that's where strongholds come from. When you feed the demon through your vice. Right? So we know?
For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal. Sold under sin.
But we're carnal. Sold under sin. We keep selling our soul to sin. We keep selling our body, our mind, and our time to sin. Right? To idleness. It says idleness teaches what? Much evil. When you're idle doing nothing, you got all this time to feed yourself into evil. Right? If your habit before the truth was pornography, when you're idle, that demon gonna try to play on your thought. If your demon was weed, it's gonna try to play on your thought. If your demon was lying, it's gonna try to play on your thoughts. Right? You know you're supposed to be getting some things done, but then because you ain't do it, because you procrastinated, then now when somebody commanded you to do something or gave you an order about doing something, right? A brother say, hey, make sure you get ready around 5 o'clock because the sister needs to be at work at 6. And I know she lived down the block from me, she's about 5 minutes. But then because you got all, you feel like, oh, okay, the sister next to me, and I just gotta take her to work. Oh, that's easy. That's cool. Shoot, I'm gonna take, what is it, 4 o'clock? Okay. No, it's 4. No, it's actually 4:20. You know what? I'm gonna take me a nap. And is it wrong to take a nap? No, but you're like, you gotta know you. You gotta know what you battle with. Are you one of them light sleepers that can get up? Or are you one of them ones that is what? You go into a comatose. Right? You don't get up, you end up, what time is it? And now you're running late because you gotta get dressed. Right? You gotta take a shower. So before you step out the house to go pick up the sister, now you're making the sister late because what? You done woke up late. The procrastination messed you up. Instead of being in the mind, okay, let me challenge myself to do something early. Let me challenge myself to do things early. Let me challenge myself to knock out things early. Right? Let me challenge myself to plan ahead, to think ahead. Let me challenge myself to fight against myself, knowing that I'm prone to messing up when I'm trying to squeeze everything in 1 hour. I don't know how to do everything in 1 hour. There's some people that know how to multitask like that. But some people can't do that. That's a learned habit. That's a learned trait. And nobody wants to do that. Because the best way to do it is to do things what? Early. It's the best way to do things, early. And knock out things in a precision time. Using your time wisely, basically. Right? But demons latch onto you when you don't do what? use your time wisely. When you're feeding that beast. But read on.
Verse 15. For that which I do, I allow not.
That which I what? No, you read verse 14?
Yes, sir.
That's it on that. Let's go to Romans 8:6. Romans chapter 8, verse 6.
Romans chapter 8, verse 6.
Because what does the Most High say about the carnal mind? What does it do? Because the point is what? Where do strongholds come from? Well, it says that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, meaning the flesh. The fleshly man, when you give yourself to the world, when you give yourself to the fleshly emotions, the fleshly thoughts, you're carnal. But what about the carnal? What is the Most High's outlook on the carnal? Go ahead.
For to be carnally minded.
So if you're carnally minded, and let's get that definition too. Carnal. Go ahead.
For to be carnally minded is death.
Yeah, to be carnally minded is death. But in place of that word carnal, you can put what? For to be materialistic is death. For to be a hater of your brother is death. To be a frustrated individual is death. Right? To be a raging individual is death. To be a thief is death. Because all these things are carnal. Right? To have a pork fest is death, literally. All these things literally lead you to death. Because it leads you into a negative train of thought. It leads you into a path that's going to lead you into negative trains of thought. And then you're going to be wondering, how did I get here? Go ahead, Sister Samara.
The definition for carnal.
Okay.
It says the passions and appetites.
The passions, so carnal. The passions and appetites.
By the flesh or body.
By the flesh or body. So whatever pleases pleasures. Right? Men giving themselves over to pleasures. Read that one more time.
The passions and appetites.
The passions. So you run off your emotions. Right? You guided by your emotions. Read.
By the flesh or the body.
By the flesh or the body. And I like that one because that goes with physical strongholds. So we talked about the spiritual ones. We call out their names, but here are the physical ones. So one of the first physical strongholds, it says what? Overeating or undereating. You deal with the anorexias.
Yeah.
Right? Overeating or undereating. That's a physical stronghold. It says unhealthy eating patterns driven by emotional factors. Overeating or undereating. Unhealthy eating patterns driven by emotional factors. Emotional factors. Negative self-talk. Constantly criticizing yourself with internal dialogues. Man, I'm too big. I'll never get over this. I'll never lose this weight. I'll never look good. Oh, look at me. Look at me. Oh, I'm ashamed. Nobody's gonna love me. Does he really love me? Does she really care about me? Does she really appreciate me? Or is it my money? Or is it because we have a kid together? You play with those thoughts. But those are physical strongholds that come from emotional strongholds or spiritual strongholds that you play with in your mind. They both hit each other. And I'm going to read it again. Overeating or undereating. Unhealthy eating patterns driven by emotional factors. I got to get the Twinkie. Right? I got to get the cookies. Right? I got to get the cupcakes. Right? I gotta eat the donuts. Right? Some people may not be sweets, it might just be dinner. I gotta give me the 5-piece, the 5 for $5 from Wendy's. Right? And I gotta order 3 of them. Because I only gotta spend, it saved me money, but I still get to eat how I like to eat. right? You get excessive with it. You eating with your eyes and not your mind. Right? What the Rastafarians like to say? And this is something, I'm only quoting them because this is something that they say that's pretty on point. Right? They say the food is for the healing, brother. Right?
Yeah.
You're supposed to eat not for just pleasure. You're supposed to eat to live. That's what they say. You're supposed to eat to live. But most I say be married. Now you know they get excessive with that statement.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you can't enjoy your food.
Right.
Right? But you ain't supposed to be excessive when you're losing yourself in the food. Where like I think it was a video. I don't know if it was Zion or somebody. I think it was here. I think it was Zion. This dude said that's the high point of his life, or that's the high point of his day when he. Oh, that was here. That was Zion. Yeah, he said we see. Yeah, I put it on the TV. And the overweight man said on TLC, he said the high point of his day is when he eat that meal. When he gets something to eat, that's when he gets excited. This is a man that's on My 300-Pound Life in TLC show. These people can't help themselves.
Yeah.
Right? But even somebody that's anorexic. Like what's causing you to be anorexic? What's causing you to not want to eat? You don't got one of those eating disorders where you got a strong form of acid reflux.
Right.
So what's causing you not to eat? It's something in your brain. It's something in your brain that's causing you to mess up. But it's something in your spirit. That negative self-talk. That, and then it says that low self-esteem, where what? A deep-seated belief that you are not worthy or valuable. So you don't feel like doing anything. That's for the overeater and the undereating. That's for both. You don't feel like moving. That's a danger. But for to be carnally minded is what?
For to be carnally minded is death.
That's what makes it death. But if you're saying where do strongholds come from, it's because it comes from people entertaining death. You give death power. Death is dead. It's inactive.
Yep.
So where does it get its power from? Somebody that feeds death. Feeds into death. Thoughts that give you death, it's suicidal thoughts. Right? That's true. The sister at the mall, we just after I talked to the brother, talked to the sister, she told some she don't realize this the connection though. But she has suicidal thoughts, so she's tired of being alone. She wants a spouse, but she wants a spouse. She don't need no spouse. She wants a spouse, a male, to be in the house with her. But I asked, do you believe in God? She said, no, I'm an atheist. Well, there it is. There it is. You just said that you live for Satan. So of course you don't have suicidal thoughts.
Yep.
Of course you're gonna be single. First of all, you're trying to mess up happy homes.
Right.
Right? Or so-called. Right? In the world. But so-called. But you're trying to mess up a home.
Right.
A home record.
Gone.
Right? We know they're not doing things biblical. So you just jumping around. She's the jump off. And she was fine with being a jump off.
Right.
But you're looking for a man. But the point is, you have these suicidal thoughts because you disconnected from God.
Right.
You disconnected from your power.
Gone.
The source of life. But you're connecting to the source of death. So you're going to have suicidal thoughts because you're connecting to death. So you're saying, where do strongholds come from? Remember, it says the demonic attack. But when you just walking into the demon, what you think you're going to have? You just said, take control of my body. Here. Like, you know, when you watch one of these little TV shows with these Power Rangers, the power suit just come up on them. It just flows. They got their hands out, and everything just comes on. The suit just goes, like Batman.
Gone.
You see Batman with the suit, just the electric suit, just Iron Man, perfect example.
Yeah.
The suit just comes on,
Gone.
and when he didn't know how to use it, it was possessing him. It would have him flying everywhere, out of control. But that's what the demons do.
Yep.
Somebody there. Somebody there?
Nah.
Oh, okay. He must just stretching or something. No somebody there. But you just doing what? You just gave him control. You just wallywopping by the demon. Well, go ahead. Go ahead, Beto, right? Go ahead.
But to be spiritually minded is life and peace.
Right, but to be spiritually minded, be in the book, be around godly people, be in class, communicate, counsel, be around, take heed to the counsel. All these different things, those are life and peace. Right? So let's go on. Let's go to the next scripture. Go to 2 Ezra chapter 9 and verse 42. 2 Ezra chapter 9 verse 42. So we see that one of these physical strongholds is overeating or undereating. And it's driven by the emotional factors. The emotional factors of what you may be dealing with. Anger, frustration. Your spouse might be getting you upset. And you're like, I gotta go take a drive outside the house and I gotta pop me a can. Right? Or I gotta smoke me a cig. And you end up smoking a whole pack and a half. In 2 hours. You burning through them. So we have 2 Ezra chapter 9 and verse 42 on page what?
Page 26.
On page 26. Go ahead.
2 Ezra chapter 9, verse 42.
Mm-hmm.
And I said unto her,
Right?
what alieneth thee?
What who?
What alieneth thee?
Yeah, what aileth thee? Right? It's a question. What ails you? And aileth means to trouble. The definition of aileth is to trouble, to affect with uneasiness, either of body or mind. Aileth, to trouble, to affect with uneasiness, either body or mind. Say it again. Aileth, to trouble, to affect with uneasiness, either of body or mind. What got you uneasy? In the body. What got you uneasy? In the mind. It's the strongholds. It's the demons. But it's the thing that we gave ourselves to. Because it's asking, what's the root of the problem? So you have to replay in your life. You have to replay who you hang around. You have to replay what do you give yourself to? Right? What type of lifestyle do you enjoy? Do you like Christmas? Do you like Halloween? Do you like clubs where women dress half naked, where men dress sagging their pants and just groping you? What lifestyle do you like? Because these things can bring you to the point where you're uneasy. Because it's going against the natural course of how God set up life. It's going against the natural course of how God created the world. So it's always going to be an uneasiness if it's contrary to Him. It's always going to be an uneasiness. So one of those strongholds was overeating or undereating. The next one is sedentary lifestyle. And sedentary is spelled S-E. So it's spelled S-E-D-E-N-T-A-R-Y. S-E-D-E-N-T-A-R-Y. So it's sedentary lifestyle, which means what? Lack of physical activity. Lack of physical activity due to ingrained habits. Lack of physical activity due to ingrained habits. Right? And that ingrained is raised. Like you just raised it. It's established. It's a belief. So now it becomes your life. So the only time I can get stress off of me if I'm punching a bag. That's an ingrained activity. That's ingrained. That's an ingrained habit. But at this point, it's saying you lack in fact physical activity. So you're slacking. This person's slacking. You don't go around people, but the Most High created the world to be social. Right? You don't like, you said I'm a loner. When God said he commands the blessing and unity. You don't like to talk to your issues, but the Most High said the way you get the healing is by being taught. That's the way He set up the world. Right? So you got these ingrained habits because you don't like to do physical. You don't like to know physical labor. But God said, I don't just do what?
Teaching evil lessons.
Teaching evil lessons.
God.
You by yourself. You at home. You go to work and you just come home. You're bound to fall into some danger.
God.
Because you're looking for some like stimulation. You're looking for stimulation. The flesh is always looking to be appeased.
Con.
But you're supposed to appease it with the spirit to counteract a demon from attaching to you.
Con.
So being that it's always looking to be appeased, you're supposed to be fighting to do the things to get you away from these ingrained habits. Because the body is susceptible to corruption when you give it into those things. It don't have to be if you don't give it into those things. We said that said that Tuesday. We were saying last week, but we said that Tuesday. So it says lack of physical activity due to ingrained habits. And then I'm gonna read these, and we're gonna come back. I'm gonna bring these words. I'm gonna read the words, but we're gonna come back to them to where y'all be able to get the definition. I'm gonna just read these words through. So it says another one's a substance abuse. You had your hand on this thing? Okay. So the other word is substance abuse, which is reliance on drugs or alcohol to cope with difficult emotions. Reliance on alcohol or drugs, reliance on drugs or alcohol to cope with difficult emotions. Then you got another one which persists with our people to where they end up getting panic attacks a lot of times because of this one right here. It says chronic pain. But where does chronic pain come from? It says physical pain that becomes a dominant focus due to mental associations. And what does that mean? You're so fixated, let's just use this the base one, right? You're fixated on what you're angry about to where it causes you to pop a blood vessel in your eye. Right? You're so fixated on what you're angry about or stressing about that it causes you to have a headache. You're so fixated and frustrated about what's going on, you think, it just popped in my head, popped out. You cause yourself to have a panic attack. I witnessed it. I mean, think about it. My mom, I see my mother, she stressed herself out so much. One time we was in Memphis. When we was, I think I was in 8th grade. She stressed herself so much with the bills because she wasn't getting paid the same amount as she was getting paid in Whole Foods in Florida. Whole Foods in Florida was paying her good. Well, solid. 18, 19, right? That's good. But when you think about Miami, that rent's crazy. So that ended up going right back to the system. That money she get. But they was paying her way below what she was getting paid in Memphis. So she started stressing about that. And then one night she's stressing so much. She think about my brother, she think about food, she think about bills, she think about all that. She do what? She stressed herself into a panic attack. Nothing wrong with you. You just so stressed out. You mess up your breathing pattern. She had to spend the night in the hospital because of that. I think she spent 2 nights, matter of fact. If I'm not mistaken. Just because they wanted to be sure. But she stressed herself right into that panic attack. Not needed. Right? But that spirit lingered around. We moved back to Florida. Who else stressing out? Who else had a panic attack? Sister. I forgot why she had a panic attack. But something caused her to have a panic attack. She had this panic attack right out of nowhere. We walking to our family friend, so-called family friend house, right? And it's like, out of nowhere, she gets a panic attack too. And this is maybe a year after. So that spirit started lingering around. But panic attacking for what? Over things that you have no control over. When what you have control over is the way you choose to live your life, the lifestyle. Whether it be godly or not. And if it's not, you're going to be susceptible to those things. If it ain't, if you're given to the Father, then He'll heal you from those things. He'll save you from those things. From feeling those emotions, right? From being doubtful, from being afraid, from replaying the abuser in your head, and then it causing you to feel shackled to where now you got a sedentary lifestyle. Where now you're ingrained in a habit where you feel like this protects you. I only go to work, and I work at this time of the day. I never choose late night hours. Right? Because you're afraid. You're afraid of getting somebody pulling up on you behind you. I only eat these sorts of things because when I was a kid, I choked on chicken. Now you're afraid to eat chicken because you choked on chicken when you was a kid. It's real. It's real. People develop these things. They got phobias. Right? Phobias and fixations. Right? If I got my highlighter this way, it's disturbing somebody. They need it to be this way. These are real issues that people be having. and they be fixated. If you do that, if you don't do that, they lose it. I remember there was a YouTube video of this woman in Walmart, and Judah was behind her. The proximity of how close Judah was like, about this close. But that was making Esau lose her mind. She was fixated. She had a phobia, a panic attack. I was raped. She was screaming in the Walmart. I was raped. You don't understand? You get far away from me. Get away. God. And she like scratching her head and pulling her hair and losing it. That's demonic attack. God. There's some other people that deal with that too. That's a demonic attack. That's a stronghold. Because you develop a sedentary lifestyle to defend yourself, or in other words, a defense mechanism that you create for a lifestyle, and it's not healthy. It's not godly. It's not. You didn't use God's medicine. You tried to create your own, and that didn't help. So it said, the scripture says, "What aileth you?" The solution is what? Read on.
Tell me.
That's the solution. Tell me. So we can start figuring out how to really fix the issue. So we can get rid of the childhood trauma and the frustration and the worries and the doubts. Go to Ephesians 5 and 8. Ephesians chapter 5 verse 8, and we'll go to that'll take us into the next point. Right? Ephesians chapter 5 verse 8. Go ahead. Who got it? Because this will take us right into the next point smoothly. But we're seeing that what? When you have these phobias and you have these fixations and you have these things that make you worry and you have these things that make you feel overwhelmed and you have these things that make you you lose sleep. That's another one. I think we said that the last time, right? I had to go running just to get that sleep because I was so angry. But another one was sleep deprivation. Mm-hmm. Sleep deprivation, right? And sleep deprivation is spelled, sleep. Then deprivation is spelled D-E. So that's D-E-P-R-I-V-A-T-I-O-N. Sleep deprivation, which means consistent lack of quality sleep impacting mental and physical health. Consistent lack of quality sleep impacting mental and physical health. Where'd that come from? Trying to be perfect.
What was the last scripture?
Ephesians 5 and 8. The one that he read?
Yeah.
2nd Ezra 9 and 42. And right now we have Ephesians 5 and 8. Consistent lack of quality sleep impacting mental and physical health. But we shouldn't be caught, because this is where we're at right now, right? I'm going to let the scriptures, I ain't going to jump ahead of the scripture. Go ahead. Okay. Let the scripture speak.
Ephesians chapter 5 verse 8.
Uh-huh.
For ye were sometimes darkness.
Yeah, for ye were sometimes darkness. Right? There was a time period where we was in this darkness where we didn't know why these things were attacking us. Some people didn't even know it was a demonic attack. Some people didn't even connect it with their childhood. Some people didn't connect it with their lifestyle, that this was causing you to have these strongholds or these demons that latch onto you, that latch onto your perception, that latch onto your emotional processing system, right? To where now you process everything through a food, through a relationship, through a TV show, through a sound, a song. Or I can't, like certain people in the mall, they can't even smell, they don't even want a certain smell. They don't even like to smell Sauvage because that Sauvage, the ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend, wear Paris Hilton or something like that, Juicy Couture, and they don't want to smell it because the traumatic. Oh, the dude just told us today. I spent 27 years in the pen, so I don't want to smell Nautical Voyage because I was smelling Nautical Voyage all in the pen. Right? I don't know how many years he's been out. Did he tell us that?
No, he didn't say how long.
Yeah, he got a 4-year-old though, so could be 4 years, could be a couple years after. But he basically was what? He was in the pen for 27 years. He developed a disdain for oil, but the oil ain't doing nothing. The oil ain't doing nothing but smelling good. Mm-hmm. And providing a scent for you to smell good. But he's afraid to think about those memories of the pen. Mm-hmm. 27 years, you done seen a lot. You done seen somebody gush out. You had to seen somebody gush out. Yeah, you're gonna see something. Even if it's out of one of those years, you're seeing something. You ain't no celebrity where they gonna hide you away. You're a stowaway. They ain't doing that. So he's tired of that life. Right? He was enjoying his daughter. He pulled up at the car. We ain't even start the conversation yet. We talking to his wife because he's fixated with his daughter. He kissed her, right? He enjoying his daughter. He don't want to think nothing about the pen. I ain't mad at him though. I'm not mad at him. Who wants to think about the pen? But you got to get over that connection of connecting the oil to that was making you don't want to smell nautical voyage. Right? That's what you frustrating yourself for no reason. You're making your life harder than it has to be. But we were sometimes in that same darkness that brother's in, where you didn't know that there were things that was connecting your past life to the way you act presently. You didn't know that there was things that in your past life that's connecting you, that's causing you to think and perceive situations the wrong way. Where now you misinterpret counsel, right? And you wrestling the counsel, wrestling the help, and then the whole time the help is just trying to help you to see how you're doing something that's causing you to have pain. They're doing something that's causing you to have no good results in your life. But how do we fix it? How do we tweak it? We were talking about that, right, yesterday. How do we tweak it so we can make things function? About being honest with ourselves, right? It's about being able to receive, right? It's about being able to ask. And like that last verse in Ezra says, tell me. It's about being able to communicate it. Mm-hmm. But you were sometimes in darkness. Now we got to see that that should be the past. We should be focused on what the Most High is showing us now, which is what? Read.
But now are ye light in the Lord.
But now we're supposed to learn how to be this light in the Lord. How to walk with a clear conscience, with a pure heart. But how does that come about? This is the next point. I can write this down. How to overcome strongholds. How to overcome strongholds is in the ability to follow instruction. How to overcome strongholds is in the ability to follow instructions. How to overcome strongholds is in the ability to follow instructions. Let's get Proverbs chapter 4, verse 5. Proverbs chapter 4, verse 5.
You say that one more time?
Come. How to overcome strongholds is in the ability to follow instructions. How to overcome strongholds is in the ability to follow instructions. Go ahead, read that. Proverbs 4 and 5.
Proverbs chapter 4, verse 5.
Go ahead.
Get wisdom.
Do what?
Get wisdom.
So we're supposed to be seeking out the wisdom. We're supposed to be chasing after the wisdom. We're supposed to be finding out what is even wisdom. Well, by definition, we know it's the proper application of knowledge. So we're supposed to find out, how do I determine wisdom? What's wise? What's the right thing to do? That's what wisdom is, the right thing to do.
God.
How do I determine what's the right thing to do? And that's what I'm supposed to be figuring out. How do I get cleansed? How do I get healed? Not like I'm going to a psychiatrist paying him 20 years, and 20 years later, after the psychiatrist retires, you have no psychiatrist, you have nobody to talk to, then all the demons just weighing on you. All the emotions just start flooding right back again. Because he ain't really giving you no real techniques to deal with the issue.
Right.
No real solutions to deal with the issue. Go ahead.
Get wisdom.
Do what?
Get wisdom.
Go ahead.
Get understanding.
But in the getting of the wisdom, you're supposed to get understanding. But there's a way to obtain these things. And we're going to go to that. Read.
Forget it not.
There's a way to not forget wisdom. It's in your ability to follow. But for you to follow, you have to listen. For you to listen, you have to care to learn. You have to care to ask. That's why he said, tell me. It said that in Ezra. And I said unto her, what aileth thee? What's troubling you? What's causing you to be uneasy in your body and in your mind? Tell me. Let's talk about it. So I can give you the wisdom that you need to get so that you can understand what you need to do so that you can start meditating on it and not let it pass by in your brain. Like, that was some cool words. That was some cool sayings. Right?
God.
some cool words and cool sayings. You don't want to get left like that. You want to get left with the solution. It's still on? Okay. Read that again, just for because it connects you.
Ecclesiastes chapter 6, verse 36.
Uh-huh.
And if thou seest a man of understanding.
So that's the way you get wisdom and get understanding. You're supposed to go see a man of understanding himself. An elder woman who's of wisdom herself. Read.
Get thee the times unto him.
You're supposed to go around. So this is the Most High showing the physical aspect of what you need to do to get healed. This is instruction. If you want to get wise, if you want to overcome doubt, you got to go see the man of understanding. You want to overcome lust, you got to go talk to the man of understanding. You want to learn how to better your relationship, you got to go to the man of understanding. You tired of replaying your trauma, go to the man of understanding. Be around him. But B times mean what? Be aggressive about it. Don't play around with it. Don't say don't come Monday, don't come Tuesday to class, and then just disappear after that. Make a way. Fight to make a way to come to class. Because when you see a man of understanding, you should not desire to be away from his presence. You should desire to be around his presence. Why do you tell brothers and sisters, you should be around the body more than you're around your worldly family? They're not feeding you. When you do talk to brothers about things you got going on, that you're dealing with, that you're battling, right? A brother or sister, right? Battling. You got to think about it. You being away ain't going to help. You being around increases your chances. That's anything. That's anything. Being a doctor. Learning how to be a doctor. You will increase your chances of being a better doctor by not only reading, but by being around a doctor. Why do you think they got that program? What do they call that program? When somebody's trying to be a doctor and they did their years of school, but then they got to do another couple of years. Their residency. They got that because they understand that the kid can't just study, and then once he does his studying and he graduates his studies, he can't just be jumped, or she can't just be dropped into the surgery. That don't mean they know what to do. That don't mean they know how to use all the knowledge that they have, or that they learned or heard. You gotta do your residency. Sports. You can't just know how to play basketball online by looking at a dang video. You can get some information, but you won't know how to properly use that information until you get around a basketball coach, a man of experience. Read.
And let thy foot wear the steps of his door.
And let the foot do what?
Wear the steps of his door.
That's why I said you got to be aggressive about it. You got to really show the Lord that you want it. You got to go chase after a wise man. You got to go find somebody wise and get around them. Get around her. Be around them. But be continually with who? A godly man. Let's get that one. I ain't put that one in there. But let's get that one. Ecclesiastes 37 chapter. 10 verse. Let's finish where we at right here though. I want to read that last part again. Let thy foot wear out the steps of his door. Let thy foot wear out the steps of his door. Read that one more time.
And let thy foot wear the steps of his door.
Because he's not just going to be talking to you about blunts and weed smoke.
Right.
About Shanae and Martin. Right? He's not just going to be sitting there talking to you about sports betting. How you was a top swimmer. How he was a top swimmer. How she was a top swimmer. How she could dance salsa. They're not going to sit there and just talk to you about that. Yeah, you're going to have general conversation. But it's going to always, well, being around a wise man is going to always find itself right back into something spiritual. To keep our mind, to keep your mind on the right things. Think of having healthy thoughts. Being around a wise man is going to give you instruction on how to have healthy thoughts. And just being around them, you'll see his habits. You'll see her habits and how they keep themselves focused and away from sin and away from entertaining negative thoughts. And then if you open your mouth to ask, they'll tell you. So that you can follow the same method, which is the method that Christ laid down. Read. Oh, you done with that?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead. Go where you at on time?
Ecclesiastes chapter 37, verse 12.
Uh-huh.
But be continuously.
What page is that?
92.
So page 92. Page 92 of Ecclesiastes chapter 37 and verse 10. Let's let everybody get there.
12.
Huh?
Verse 12.
Oh, it's verse 12. verse 12. Ecclesiastes chapter 37
Verse 12.
and verse 12.
Salakia.
There you go. Ecclesiastes chapter 37 and verse 12. Read that.
But be continuously with a godly man.
With a who?
A godly man.
There you go again. Let thy foot out his doorsteps. Be continually. Always be around godly individuals. It said man, but it's also talking about being around those wise women, those elder women. Read.
Whom that knows to keep the commandments.
Because mind you, you're dealing with demons. You got strongholds. So you're being demonically attacked. They're going to help you identify the ones you don't see. But as you're sharing the ones you do see, they're going to show you the link chain on how these things are causing you to fall short. They're going to show you the link chain on why you want the new car, but God, the Most High ain't giving it to you. Right? Yeah. They're going to show you the link chain on why you want a relationship, but why it's not profitable to you right now, and why the Most High keep blocking you from doing it, having that. They're going to show you the link chain. They're going to show you. Yeah. Are they going to show you just because they're trying to be better than you? No. They're trying to show you because they're trying to help. Because they care. Because we don't have to deal with hood drama no more. Right? That brother said he's going to come to class tomorrow. He said just call him 2 hours ahead. Let's see. You know how many people have said that? Let's see. But he said he's going to come to class. You know, I got his number. So we're going to call him. Right? He said he want to come to class. But now, I told him this is the opportunity. God's trying to give you that newness. Yeah. Like he's giving us that newness so that we can change and we don't have to think the way we used to think and operate and move and feel like you're protecting yourself when you're not the way you used to. You know, I got my third eye open. I see through you villains. You know, I can look in a man's eye and tell when he lied. Right? I can tell the way she flaunting that dress. She a thought. No, you can't. No, you can't. You invited me to play football, video game, but right now you should be focused on how you're gonna get your next situation set up properly after the house is built. Right? We gotta figure out our next. It's about figuring things out. That wise man, his mind is only her mind is only thinking about how can we promote godliness. And how can I promote godliness in the people that's next to me? And I'm going to make sure that I give them the instructions they need to prosper. Steps. But this is the first step. Being around godly individuals. This is the first piece of instruction because they're going to overwhelm you with righteousness. This is a good overwhelming. The Bible says don't be overcome with evil, but overcome evil with good. So this is a good overcome. They're overcoming they're going to help you overcome your thought process. And if you're humble, right? But that's why it says in the point, it says the ability to follow instruction. That means to listen. To listen, to hear. But you got to get around to be able to listen to hear. You got to be around to listen to hear. You got to take every opportunity. That's what we say. Feast days, and brothers be like, hey, we're going to get over the house. That's an opportunity. Right? To be around. Hey, we're going to Virginia. What brothers want to come through? That's an opportunity. Because it's not just about the trip. And saving face to be like, oh, we made a trip to Virginia, and Virginia made a trip to Rochester, Rochester made a trip to Houston. We did it. No, it's because there's somebody there that the Most High is going to put the word on their spirit to talk to you. To give you some instruction, a wise man, a wise woman. Mm-hmm. You're going to hear something in conversation that ain't had nothing to do with you. But it had everything to do with you because the Most High had you standing right next to that conversation so that you could hear it, so that you can get the words of healing. And we're going to go into it. Go ahead, because it's not good.
I like that you said that because on the road trips is strong bonds being built.
Right.
We done been through weather storms.
Right.
15 stops at these gas stations. You know what I'm saying? Pit stops.
Hey, I gotta take an energy herb on these trips. Hey, somehow, some way, I always find my way to fall asleep. Listen, I'm just saying, I'm not purposely falling asleep because I'm trying to rush the trip. Like I could be mid-conversation. Y'all see me? Y'all see me? Come on. Okay. I'm listening to what you're saying, but I'm listening to what you're saying. It's on point. I gotta take better advantage of these moments right now. That's all. I'm bearing witness. I'm testifying on myself.
God.
But go ahead. Go ahead.
30 hours in the car with
Yeah,
your
'cause
brother
he
and
pointed to
sister.
me when he said, he pointed to me when he said, we done been on these trips. I done been sleeping through some of these moments. So I gotta stay up. Go ahead.
Yeah, 30 hours, you know what I'm saying? Somebody do like 7 hours, then switch with a sister or brother. They're doing 7 hours.
Go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? And then just building those bonds together.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's those moments.
Oh yeah, car accidents we had, and knowing how to deal with that situation when it occurred.
Yeah. Multiple, right?
I got a testimony, like we riding around the lake, I'm like, quiet, remember that right there? He's like,
Listen, we was talking, Tyra, you gotta tell the whole story, you gonna tell that, man. we ate tacos before we got back on the road.
Dang.
We ate tacos, so I'm slumped. we talking, and that kind of just like, out of nowhere, I'm saying a sentence, and I just faded away. But yes, I gotta. So I'm gonna make sure I gotta get these. I gotta say I'm gonna go on a dry fast. Anytime we go on a road trip, I'm gonna go on a 2-3 day fast. Make sure I got my what do you call it? Echinacea.
Yeah.
Echinacea root.
Yep.
Right, my maca root, so I can have that energy. Right, and just stay up. But yes, I did that. I testified on myself, the brother testified on me too.
a few times, not just once.
Right? Right? But these are moments to take advantage of, though. Hey, when I'm at my destination, I'm taking advantage of it.
God.
When we at the destination, I'm taking advantage of all the conversation. Either I'm just listening, talking, or dialoguing.
Yeah.
And taking advantage of these moments, because that's where you get all the wisdom. That's why, like, there's times where when I was young, well, I'm still young in the truth, but when I was my first year and a half, say that, 'cause I don't remember the exact date, where I could have been able to, when I'm on my off day, I didn't have, I was a soldier at that point, but I was a young soldier, and I had the opportunity just to be able to stay home, and on my off day, because we was new, building up the school and whatnot, but Zion would always be running around, but I chose to kind of just run around with Zion, even though I could have stayed home, but I was doing well. I was taking advantage of the being around the godly man, because I know something gonna come out. He's gonna tell me something about me that I need to fix, or he's gonna be having counsel with somebody on the phone, and he's counseling the person, but I'm listening to the counsel, as I'm listening to him, I'm like, oh damn, I need to do that. Damn, I need to stop doing that. Damn, I gotta stop thinking like that. So, but I know all that's coming out in that moment, but because I'm dousing myself with being around and ingrained in the environment, that was a remedy within itself. That's like a fast track road. Because I'm dousing it, I'm accepting the environment, I'm accepting putting myself in these certain settings to be able to facilitate and nurture the growth. Now, does that mean I still got things to work on? We just talked on one, right? So still got things to work on, so I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm just sharing an example based off experience on something that helped me grow with the Spirit of the Most High, right? And that's something that you got to continue to do even as time goes on, because you want to stay fiery for the Word. You want to stay fiery for the Word, and you want to stay away from danger. But by you staying fiery for the Word, you stay away from the danger, right? But that takes you being around a godly man or a godly woman continually. So that's a remedy within itself. That's one of the first instructions we give, brother. Come around. Get around. Get active in what we're doing. Stay around. And if being around is just those first 6 months of being in class, be in class. Be on them phone calls. Call somebody. Right? Find a way to get around. We're always about brothers and sisters getting around. It's just about coming in the right spirit. Right? And if you really want that healing, you'll get that. Because everything we do facilitates a spiritual growth. Because it's going to challenge you to do something outside of your norm. So being around that godly man is a help within itself. Because the spirit that's on him is the spirit of the Lord. And the Most High going to endow him to say something to you. Or you're going to ask something and something's going to come out. About something that you need help with. On how to overcome that stronghold. Read.
Ecclesiastes chapter 37, verse 12.
Go ahead.
But be continuously with a godly man,
Go ahead.
whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Lord,
Right.
whose mind is according to thy mind.
His mind is according to your mind because he's in the scripture. You're trying to learn how to use the scripture. And he's trying to show you that the path he went through, the path she went through, is no different than what you've been through. Now, the stories might be slightly different, but it's a demon's a demon. Right? We can play the semantics on how it manifests itself, but a demon's a demon. A stronghold's a stronghold. If you deal with porn, you deal with porn, but your reasoning is different, it'll differentiate the fact that he got the wisdom to help you with him overcome it. Right? She's a liar. She used to lie. She overcame it through the counsel of correction. You're supposed to go seek out that help. It don't matter like, oh, well, I lied because I'll be, afraid to look, seeking love. It talks about that in scriptures, right? Some people seek the love of others. You try to please people too much. So you end up, when you fall short in things, you try to please somebody, and now it causes you to lie because you're trying to save face. Yeah. Right? Well, go to the person that, listen, they talking to you. They telling you, listen, that's not beneficial. I used to do that. That don't work. They tell you it don't work, but they tell you it don't work based on the fact that they know that they applied the solution and giving themselves over to the solution. So if you use that solution, it'll heal you too. It'll help you too. But you gotta first start coming around to find out the different types of instruction you can get out of the Bible. Read.
And will sorrow with thee if thou shalt miscarry.
And they're gonna sorrow with you. Not like what the world does, but they're gonna walk you through the scriptures. They're gonna like, damn, that's whack. You was abused, you was touched, somebody raped you. Damn, you got abused. Somebody threw you out of the car. Somebody robbed you. You got stabbed. Oh man, you grew up in a dope house. What the? And they're gonna sorrow with you, but that sorrow gonna make them lock in even more into the conversation. And then they're gonna do what? They're gonna open up that word and be like, yes, but this is what the Most High's trying to show you. This is what the wisdom's trying to give you. And they're going to give you the play-by-play, but that comes from you just doing what? Being around and talking. But the healing, the how to overcome a stronghold comes from how well can you hear? How well can you bow your ear to learn? So let's go on. Ecclesiastes 51 and verse 23. How well can you hear? How much are you willing to learn? And push yourself to be vigorous to apply. Ecclesiastes chapter 51 verse 23. Go ahead.
Ecclesiastes chapter 51 verse 23.
Draw
near unto me.
Do what?
Draw near unto me.
How much do you want to please the Lord? You overcoming a stronghold is based on how much you want to please the Lord. And if you want to please the Lord, you got to draw near to him. And what is that drawing near? Read.
You unlearn.
Meaning you that slow, that lack knowledge on how to apply the Bible and need to be taught. How well can you slow your mind and your thought process, right? Your emotions and your stubbornness and your pride. How well can you slow those things down to be able to learn something new? Can you resist those thoughts? Just say, I have a better idea than what the teacher's telling you. When we know, like we always say, your best wisdom got you in the worst situations. Yeah. Yeah, your best wisdom got you in the worst situations. We know that. So that therefore means classifies you as an unlearned brother, sister. Yeah. So we gotta learn. But how do we learn? Read.
And dwell in the house of learning.
And that word dwell, I looked it up. It says to live or stay in place or to reside permanently. To live or stay in place or reside permanently. That means you're always around. You're always around. We know nobody necessarily lives in the school, but what do people usually say? Man, I live at the mall. To figuratively say that, what? I'm always at the mall. But what do you got to do? Always be in class, so that as the class topics come out, your mind is always being scorched or corrected, so that you can think pure thoughts, so that you can learn how to train yourself to think pure thoughts. Because the godly man is not going to allow you to just sink into destruction. Like unless you resist the will.
That's like that.
You gotta step back.
Me and you went and helped my mom for like 45 minutes, and I was like, see, I be telling my family I'm always with my brothers in school, whatever. I'm like, always? I'm like, always.
Yeah.
Because we check each other if somebody doing something wrong or whatever. We keep each other on point.
Right, right. Keep you watchful of yourself. Right? Keep you watchful, and your brother's there to help you stay strong. So, iron sharpen iron, right? Two are better than one, right? For they have a good reward for their labor. So, no, you right on point. We're constantly around each other, right? I'm a permanent resident of being around Tahara. I'm permanently around Kadash. I'm permanently around Uriah. I'm permanently around Azariah. Permanently around Sister Samaya. Permanently around Sister Shirah. Right? Permanently around. But you got to be permanently around to get the healing. To be able to hear what's going to come out. To give you that medicine, that medicinal. So, and it says to be fixed upon with attention. To be fixed in attention. To hang upon with fondness. So that means when you're in the house of learning, information is going to be coming out, and you got to be fond of that information. You have to start liking it more than you like the evil that you used to love. Yeah. Right? Hearing about who Christ came for, you're like, well, then I've been in the classroom for about 4 or 5 years. You hear who Christ came for, the class is for the new sister, but you still here, still don't know how to fully break it down. You're not supposed to be like, oh, who Christ came for again? Oh, what was another one? Romans 11 again. Oh, how the kingdom split again. You're not supposed to be like that. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, brother. Pride again. Oh, strongholds again. Oh, we're not supposed to be like that. We're supposed to permanently always want to coexist and hear the word of God. And stay fixed on it. That's where you learn. You got to dwell in the house of learning. But you see that, Miss Nikki?
Yes.
You seeing where the remedy is?
Yes, absolutely.
And there's more. There's more. Because the being around is what you're going to be here. Be around. Come around and bow your ear to learn. So that you can be taught how to stay away from falling into sin. And this last point we got is going to go into that. But let's read these 2 verses here. Proverbs 22 and 17. And Colossians 3 and 16. Somebody will get that.
Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 17.
Uh-huh.
Bow down thine ear.
Do what?
Bow down thine ear.
That's the key right there. The first step to the healing is as you talk, as you disclose, as you become transparent, as you're talking, can you bow your ear though? Because that's another step that nobody wants to do. We were talking to a dude the other day in the mall. We talking to the brother with the locks. He over here, he talking, he listened for a second, but while we talking and he's quiet, he's talking in his head. Mm-hmm. But he's talking in his head thinking about how he's gonna rebuttal. Yeah. Because he's trying to be a jokester. Mm-hmm. And this is another 40-year-old man. We're like 42. Yeah. But he's thinking about in his head how he's gonna rebuttal. And he knows it's conclusive. Every time he say the word, now that's where that's where he kind of shuts down when you give him the Bible verse. But he'll always reload because he don't know the fullness of the truth. He knows that he's a Hebrew Israelite, but he don't know the fullness of the truth just yet. He ain't been around nobody. He probably just heard it here and there and then cleave to it. But he don't know the fullness of it really. But he kept trying to just cycle around and play around and rebuttal. So the hardest part is people being able to bow down. Like bow their ear down. Okay. Stop your mind to slow down so to be able to even listen. Read.
Bow down thine ear and hear the words of the wise, and apply thine heart unto my knowledge.
And hear the words of the wise. So you got to be able to be around and want to bow your ear so that you can hear wise words so that now you can apply it in your mind. And now that's a piece of knowledge that you have to pass on. Because you overcome your stronghold, your demon. Right? You overcome your fear of failure. Right? Your low self-esteem. Your pride, your ego, your doubts. Because why? You're bowing your ear down. And then it says, just piggybacking a little bit on that word dwell in the house of learning. It says to be fully present in a place or with a person. So when you're actively in a learning environment, you have to always be present, as to not miss the wisdom, as to not miss the understanding, as to not miss why the statement is being made, and then you're not able to connect the piece. But that statement that was being made while you was daydreaming was the one that was supposed to give you the understanding on your issue. But now you prolonged the issue being around because why? You started daydreaming. You started visualizing Chuck E. Cheese, right? Oh yeah, the mind go funny places.
Right.
You start visualizing that you want that pizza spot that I hope class finished before 11. Right? You know class is at 10. But I hope class finished before 11. I'm trying to go to get that what do they call that fish? You got the fried fish from fish and chips.
Fish fry.
That fish fry. I'm trying to go catch that fish fry at Lake Hots. All right, Dave Hots. Right now, what's the other one down there? Gourmet Dave's.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Gourmet Hots.
Gourmet Hots. Oh, I'm trying to catch that Gourmet Hots. No, man. You gotta lock into the wisdom. We don't? Well, that's it. Colossians 3. Colossians 3 and 16.
Come.
Colossians 3 and 16.
Yeah.
Oh, stop. Yeah. Come on.
Colossians chapter 3, verse 16.
Go ahead.
Let the word of Yahushua dwell in you richly.
But that's what we're supposed to do. There you go again. You're supposed to be fixed. That word dwell popped up again. You're supposed to hang on the wisdom of Yahushua with fondness. You're not supposed to let anything else take your attention. So we're almost listening. The instruction is to really keep your attention on God. And one of the introductory ways to keep your attention on God is by going to somebody stronger than you and being around them consistently so that they can help you stay on the path. So when that doubtful thought come in, you can automatically do what? Counsel about it. Somebody call you while you in the motion, you with the wise man, you with the wise woman, and you get some sad information, you get some information that's frustrating, you automatically able to do what? Turn and counsel. And talk about it. Doubt just jumped, for some odd reason, doubt just hit you. Well, what was you doing last night? Well, I ain't seen you in class in the last 4 or 5 weeks. Right? I ain't seen you, I ain't heard from you in about a month. So, what you been doing in these last months? Who you been hanging with? What conversations you been having? Has it been around godly other Israelites or something? If not, you causing your pain. Because you're doing what? You're not keeping your attention fixed on Christ. And one of the things Christ always taught was being around. Being around your godly brothers and sisters. Read.
In all wisdom, teaching and admonishing one another in psalms and hymns.
Look at all these different methods. Psalms, hymns, read.
And spiritual song.
Go ahead.
Singing with grace.
It said teaching, which is class, admonishing, correction. Psalms, we read the Psalms of David, it's like music to your heart. Even when you didn't know the truth, and you was looking for something to soothe your soul, you would go to Psalms. A door lock?
God.
That's your right look.
God.
Yeah. Should be good. Well, go ahead, Tara. You take one of them. See you real quick. But go ahead.
Singing with grace in your hearts to the Lord.
Right, singing with grace. So when you're around godly people, they're going to show you how to sing with grace. They're going to show you how to glorify the Lord with your mouth and your heart. But this is the last one. And it's not a couple scriptures, but this is the last one. We just go through like 4 or 5 of them. Quick. Go to Psalms 51 and 1. And then somebody else gets Psalms 34 and 14. Psalms 51 and 1, and then Psalms 34 and 14.
Psalms chapter 51 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
Have mercy upon me.
Have what?
Have mercy upon me.
No, read that whole thing in verse 1. To the chief musician.
Oh, Salaki. To the chief musician.
So this is the last point. It is possible to defeat the stronghold. It is possible, put this, it is possible to overcome the stronghold. It is possible to overcome the stronghold. David did it. it is possible to overcome the stronghold. David did it. Y'all got that? Read that.
Psalms chapter 51, to the chief musician, a psalm of David.
This is David writing. Read.
When Nathan the prophet came unto him after he had gone into Bathsheba.
Right after David committed adultery, what did he do? So, if you fallen, you messed up, you sinned, you did wickedly, you fell to a whole demon, you fell to a demon that you're still dealing with, what are you instantaneously supposed to do? We got to look at David, but look at his mindset. He didn't continue playing with it. He didn't go find somebody else's wife. He didn't wallow in his mire and start beating himself up with failure, low self-esteem, perfectionism, self-talk, negative self-talk, procrastination, unforgiveness. He didn't start beating himself up with that. He didn't start overeating. He didn't start going to chronic pain. He didn't go to substance abuse. He didn't go to sleep deprivation. What did he do? Read.
Have mercy upon me.
He went to go pray. After Nathan confronted him and he acknowledged his sin of what he did wrong, he went and go pray. He said to the Lord, what?
Have mercy upon me.
Have mercy what?
Have mercy upon me.
Go ahead.
O Yahweh.
Oh, Yahweh.
According to thy loving kindness.
And he started entreating the Lord with greetings. Humble. These are humble statements. Right? That man said, Lord, like, give me the crib. Right?
God.
Give me the voluptuous woman that I desire. Right? Psalms 51 and verse 1. Lord, give me peace. A lot of people just asking for things, really.
Right.
Because that's what the preachers preaching nowadays. Give me the new couch. Give me the new car. Give me the new wife. Give me the new kids. Give me. Give me things. Don't give me spiritual things. Because they're afraid to ask for that. Because they know that comes with challenges and experiences. Right? I know a guy, he's like, oh, don't tell me the truth. Don't tell me the truth. I went to school with somebody, he's like, we on the phone, we playing Fortnite. This is what I'm, young, not even coming around to school. I'm still in Memphis, still on my just relaxation side. I'm talking to him, I'm like, yeah, but spirit hit me. I'm like, I can't be playing video games with this guy. I know better. I'm not supposed to be in the word. I'm supposed to share with the word with him. So I'm trying to talk to him about the truth. You're like, no, I don't want to hear that. I want to hear that. Don't tell me. Because he don't want to be accountable. And that's exactly what he said. He said, I don't want to be accountable. If I don't know, I ain't accountable for it. So people don't want to hear it. But they want things from God. David wanted mercy. He wanted to where he didn't fall back into that lust that caused him to commit adultery. He was asking to be cleansed of that. For that spirit, that demonic entity, that stronghold to be released from him. Read.
Have mercy upon me, O Yahweh, according to thy loving kindness.
Go ahead.
According unto the multitude of thy tender mercies.
According to what?
According unto the multitude.
Look at these gentle words, but yet forward. He's directing what he knows he needs and why he's asking. But his approach is very respectful on how he's communicating to the Lord. Because he said multitude. He knows the Lord is merciful. He knows the Lord is ready to forgive. Mm-hmm. But it's a certain way that you have to approach to get this forgiveness. It's a certain way you have to approach for the Lord to help you in breaking the strongholds. It's a certain way you got to communicate. It's a certain way you got to conduct. And we're going to see how David communicated and conduct. Because here lies the wisdom on how to break a stronghold. Perfect example, prime example, David. Lust is a big thing, let alone murdering somebody to fulfill lust is another thing. And then sleeping with his wife, another man's wife, is another thing. That's heavy demons that you can just wallow in your mire, especially having done these great things in the Lord previous already, but then reach a certain point and then mess with somebody's wife and murder them, somebody that cares for you, that wants to protect you. That can weigh your conscience down. Like, you can hit yourself, he could hit himself with all the self-negative talk. I'm not good. I'm trash. I should have stayed a sheep herder. I should have never been king. Why would the Lord like me anyways? I knew he was going to lead me down the same path as Saul. I knew I had pride and I just was going to run with it. I knew I was dealing with this, that's how I was just going to fall into it anyways. No, that's not the mindset. He immediately went to go pray. Read.
According unto the multitude of thy tender mercies,
Go ahead.
blot out my
And
transgression.
he asked for forgiveness. And in the midst of asking for forgiveness, he asked him for help to no longer fall into the sins. But he understood what? And what must we understand that David understood? Now this is instruction. This is instruction on how to get that stronghold off you. Go to Psalms 34 and 14. Somebody else get 1 Peter 2 and 11. Go ahead.
Psalms chapter 34, verse 14.
Go ahead.
Depart from evil.
He understood he had to depart from evil instantly. He had to depart from it. He walked around with that guilt, that shame. And then when Nathan finally came to him, and Nathan pressed him about it, hit him with some wisdom, a check, a correction, he admitted it, and he went to what? Went to prayer. Went to pray. And asked the Lord for forgiveness and to wash him clean of the sins, the filth, the negative he's done, and the negative in his mind that causes him to fall into that. So that he don't fall into the trap of evil. But this is how you break strongholds, this is how you break demons. Talk to the Lord, but be around a wise man. But then at the same time, if we're listening, he received the rebuke of a wise man. So you got to be able to receive the rebuke when you know you're wrong, especially. Especially when you know you're wrong. Especially if he's walking you through what you're doing that's wrong and showing you scripture. Read.
Depart from evil and do good.
You're supposed to pray and instantly set up a game plan to fall away from that evil. We're going to go over that game plan. Read.
Seek peace.
Seek what?
Seek
You're
peace.
supposed to find peace. And do what?
And pursue it.
Did anywhere in part of that did it say to dwell on guilt? The guilt is there to propel you, to show you that I don't ever want to feel that no more, so that you can start pursuing and chasing after good and peace. And so that you don't desire to ever do that again, because you never want to feel that level of guilt because of something you purposely did wrong. Something you fell short to. Something you presumptuously did. For some. Right? Go ahead. That was presumptuous because David did what? He seen her. Didn't call for it. Then the minister was like, the guy was like, no. But then David was like, no, bring her to me. And he brought her to her. There's a lot of steps that happened for him to have fallen into that. And there's a lot of steps that he didn't take to prevent that. Because she wasn't physically there, but he brought her to his physical. He brought her to his dwelling. He could have resisted, but why? He fell into it. But he never wanted to feel that sort of shame and feel that sinister and evil ever again. But are we tired? The way David was tired of evil. The way David was tired of sinning. The way he hated, the way it made him feel for the wrong that he did. You gotta grow a hate for evil. That hate for evil has to develop. And a mind to say, I'm gonna depart from it and I'm gonna act this day to depart from that evil. Read.
The eyes of the Lord are upon the righteous.
This is how you depart from those strongholds where you're beating yourself up, where you're cutting yourself, where you got anxiety and you got a frustration. Depart from evil. God commanded you to not afflict yourself in your own counsel. He said that in Ecclesiastes 30. Right? He said, don't afflict thyself in thine own counsel. Give not thy mind over to heaviness. You're supposed to go seek a counselor to get the help. That's the departing from evil. The counselor is going to give you the help. The class is going to give you the help. Let's get that 1 Peter's. Oh, we done?
Oh, still more. And his ears are open.
There you go.
And his ears are open unto their cry.
Yeah, and I didn't put that one there, but when you start seeking that good, start putting away the evil, distancing yourself from evil people that influence the evil in you, then his ears is what?
Are open unto their cry.
So as you praying, you're acting on your prayer, and you're departing from the evil people. And you're receiving the correction from the brother and sister that's given it to you. All that's happening together.
Okay.
All that's happening together, step by step. What I mean by that is you're praying, because you're tired of that damn guilt from you falling short in that stronghold. Then you counsel about it. The brother give you the correction. The sister give you the correction. The wise woman give you the correction. Then you go pray about it, and you got to act on that prayer. And to act on that prayer is to get away from the things that will make you fall into it right over again. After making the prayer, after doing the counsel, after feeling the guilt. Because you don't want it to be worldly guilt. But let's go to 1 Peter. 2 and 11. 1 Peter chapter 2 and 11. Somebody else gets Psalms 26 and 12. 1 Peter 2 and 11. Somebody else gets Psalms 26 and 12.
Okay.
1 Peter chapter 2 verse 11.
Right?
Dearly beloved,
Uh-huh.
I beseech you.
He said what?
I beseech you.
He said, dearly beloved, I beseech you. I'm making a strong statement to you. Read.
As strangers and pilgrims abstain from fleshly lust.
Mind you, we in this world, we everywhere. We scattered abroad. But the Most High's trying to call us back. So we ain't going to be no stranger, no pilgrim no more. We're identified. He's identifying us now. Israelites. Levi, Judah, Benjamin, Simeon, Manasseh. Right? But he's trying to help us identify what we spiritually need to do. To not just be an Israelite in word, but in deed. Read on.
Which war against the soul.
Abstain. There it is.
Oh, my fault.
There goes the instruction. Abstain. Let's get that definition real quick. Let's try to find that real quick. Abstain. That's a key one. You have to abstain. Because he said depart. But for another word connected with that is abstain. When you depart from something, you're staying away from it. Which means you're abstaining. Read.
Abstain. In a general sense.
To
forbear.
To what?
Forbear or refrain from. Voluntarily.
You got another one? What you got, Azara?
Restrain oneself.
You what?
Restrain oneself.
You're restraining yourself. What else?
From doing.
From doing.
Or enjoying something.
You're restraining yourself from doing or enjoying something. Which is what? The evil. Because our people like the evil. Even though it's causing pain. But you have to grow a dislike for the evil. The brother today, he was celebrating all the violence he was engaged in. But he has to grow a hate for that violence. Because now, the violence caused him to be negligent of his spiritual physical health. Now he got diabetes, now he got a little blurry vision in one eye, a little less of a vision in one eye. Now his house burnt up. You have to grow a hate for that evil. Or things are going to keep on transpiring, and you're going to keep on falling to that stronghold, aka that demon. Abstain from what though?
Abstain from fleshly lust.
From fleshly lust. You have to refrain from enjoying fleshly lust. How did David beat the demons? He abstained. We're going to see the action of that. He abstained from the fleshly lust. Read that.
Which war against the soul.
Because it war against your soul. It's trying to cause you to taint your spirit. When you're giving up to the porn, the weed, the liquor, in the sense of being an alcoholic, right? The lying, the sloth, the pride, the lack of dedication. These things war against your soul. When you want to do things your way, it wars against your soul, and it takes away the life from you. To be carnally minded is death. Because it's taking away your ability to fight for what's right. It's clouding your ability to think clear. And again, I'm going to read that definition one more time. Stronghold is a harmful thought pattern, attitude, or idea that prevents a person from thinking clearly, accepting truth, but this is where we're at, or repenting of sin. So it prevents you from repenting of sin because why? You're in a cycle of just playing with that demon. You're in that cycle. Instead of doing the things to free yourself. Who got Psalm 26 and 12? And somebody else, 2 Corinthians 7 and 10.
Psalm chapter 26 and verse 12.
Uh-huh.
My foot standeth In an even place.
He realized he had to do. Is everybody there? Psalms 26 and 12. Yeah, we don't go too fast.
Okay.
I want everybody to get that at least. Psalms 26 and verse 12. Let's get it.
My foot standeth.
My what?
My foot standeth.
So where is he placing his 2 feet though? Read.
In an even place.
He's developing balance in his life through what he's abstaining from. But where is he at? And who's he around? To where he's able to nourish this action he wants to partake in doing, which is the change, which is the fighting against the demon, which is the overcoming the lust. Right? Where is it? How did he develop the balance? Listening to his teachers, counseling, receiving help. But as we figured it out, one of these instructions is after he does all the talking with all the priests and being around, he has to abstain when he's by himself. And he has to develop a balance in his life. Read.
In the congregation will I bless the Lord.
But he finds himself continually being around where?
In the congregation will I bless the Lord.
In the congregations will I bless the Lord. So he's continually around godly men and women. So that he can his mind can stay on doing the things that pertains to blessing the Lord. That helps him abstain. Being around helps you abstain from doing things on your time, your way, at your pace. Because now you got to change the way you think and become a new creature in Christ. You see that? So it's causing you to abstain. But let's get that 2 Corinthians 7 and 10. And somebody else get Ephesians 4 and 27.
2 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 10.
Go ahead.
For godly sorrow.
Well, what?
For godly sorrow.
There go that sorrow that it was talking about in Ecclesiastes 37 and 12, where it said, if thou be continuing with a godly man, because if thou miscarry, he's going to sorrow with you. But sorrow in what fashion? Read.
Work of repentance.
Godly sorrow, that spirit that has a desire to change, works repentance. I want you to hold that though real quick. Let's we got to get this one. Psalms 34 and verse 18. This is that godly sorrow. This is what the Lord is looking for, and what he identifies as the godly sorrow. Go ahead.
Psalms chapter 34, verse 18.
Psalms chapter 34 and verse 18. Psalms chapter 34 and verse 18. This goes hand in hand with this godly sorrow as we go into it. Go ahead. Well, hold on. Let's see, the sister's still flipping. Go ahead.
Psalms chapter 34, verse 18.
Go ahead.
The Lord is nigh unto them.
The Lord is nigh to who?
Unto them.
Go ahead.
That are of a broken heart.
The Lord is able to step in and help you when you fall into that sin, when you're stuck in this cycle, when you make a decision that when that guilt, that broken heart, that mind that desires change, and you feel like, damn, I'm tired of this, just being angry all the time. I need something different. I need to change. But you mean it though. You mean you want to change. And you're ready to do what you got to do to make the change. And 2 Corinthians 7 is going to go into that. What you got to do to make the change. What you got to do to get clean, just like David did. Read on.
And saveth such as be of a contrite.
He does what?
Saveth such.
Save it. But what are we trying to be saved from? Strongholds. Demonic attacks. Evil suspicions. Irrational thoughts. Double minds. Unstable emotions. We're trying to be saved from those things. And this is what the Father does. This is how he saves us. When we start to take interest in the things he takes interest in. He takes interest in a person that got a broken heart and a contrite spirit. I mean, you sincerely want to change. And you ready to act on it. And you ready to bow down your ear to learn, to hear all the things you need to hear about what you need to change. He's ready. Go ahead.
And saveth such as be of a contrite spirit.
Right. And let's drop that. Let's go back to that's Corinthians.
2 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 10.
Go ahead.
For godly sorrow worketh repentance.
What? Let's wait for you there? You there, right? Okay, go ahead.
Worketh repentance.
And so godly sorrow works repentance. So it sparks you to want to take action. Because when you're repenting, you're reforming from bad to good, from an evil way to a good way. You're putting away the pum pum dress. You're putting away the sagging of the pants.
Right.
You're putting away the calling women out their name. Right? You taking away the I don't need a man. I'm good by myself. Right?
Nah.
You taking that away. I don't need help. The loner spirit. You killing these spirits. But it's gonna come by you having a contrite heart and a broken spirit to change. Broken to the fact that he's tired of the world. You tired of seeing blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans struggle. You started struggling. You started struggling inside your mind. You started struggling with the bills and being bound and being a slave to those things. So now you run into a vice just to escape the reality. But now you're ready to do the things that's gonna furnish your change. Read.
For godly sorrow, work of repentance to salvation.
Because you're ready to put the footsteps in. Read.
Not to be repented of.
Why? Because you stopped doing it. You're done with the stronghold. The demon's gone. But we're going to figure out why. Read.
But the sorrow of the world worketh death.
Why does the sorrow of the world work at death? Girl, you okay? You good? Bruh, take it on the chin and move forward. Right? Suck up your emotions. Why would you want to suck up your emotions? That means you tell them to stick to you. You want to eradicate the emotional nature. You want to purge it out. Right? Vomit it out. Get it away from you. So that you're no longer sick. You don't want to suck it up. That's bad. Unhealthy. Read.
For behold, this self-same thing.
So this is the godly sorrow. This is what you do when you have godly sorrow. These are the steps to attacking demons. This is a step to attacking a stronghold. This is how you strain a demon. This is how you make a demon have a hunger. Right? Not a demon hangry. It's angry because you're not feeding it. Read.
That ye sorrow after a godly sort.
Well, first and foremost, you sorrow after a godly sort. You want to change. You're willing to put the work to change. Read.
What carefulness it wrought in you.
You become careful. Wrought means work. So you start to become careful who you spend time with. Because this person brings anger out of you. Because you don't know how to control your anger or your emotions yet. Right? It said what carefulness it wrought in you. You're careful to make sure you're not in a bar because you deal with alcoholism. You're careful you're not around a weed man because you deal with weed problems. You're not around your family member that do both of these things because you're dealing with those issues you're trying to overcome it. Right? Mom always frustrating you and you don't know how to deal with mom. Right? You don't know how to deal with your cousins. You don't know how to deal with your sisters, your siblings, your family members, your old friends. They constantly trying to weigh you down with their way of how you used to live and how you no longer trying to live. Girl, why you wearing grandma's dress? Girl, you young. You think put those skin tights, you off those curves. You getting away from those people because they're influencing you to attract demonic attention. You try to stay away from that. And attracting that demonic attention of the lust of a lustful man or a lustful woman. You try to say to yourself, I'm going to be careful to no longer be in the spaces, a club. I'm not going to be around a club. I'm not going to be around a bar. Right? I'm not going to be around a house party. Which nowadays, a lot of people is doing those house parties and secretly just doing sex parties. Because that's what a lot of people are doing nowadays. Because you're trying to get away from those things. You're trying to stay away. I'm not trying to be a fighter, so I'm putting down the flag. I'm no longer a blooded crip. I'm no longer a street cat. Right? I'm putting away the lonerism, which is don't talk, stay to yourself, right? Don't communicate, don't be friendly, don't smile, just be. Just like that. I'm putting all that away because why? That's not beneficial to the nourishment of my change. So I'm careful with every little thing that I do in my life. Read.
Yeah, what clearing of yourself.
What?
Yeah, what clearing of yourself.
What did David say? blot out my transgressions. For I acknowledge my transgressions before thee. He wants his transgressions to be blot out. But he knew he had to do what? He said it in Psalm 26. My foot standeth in an even place. In the congregations will I bless the Lord. He was constantly around godly individuals. He constantly stayed what? He balanced out his life by restraining himself. He strained the demons. Anything that will feed the flesh, he strained it. If it's food that distracts you, you strain it. If it's tea that distracts you, you strain it. Right? If it's sleep that distracts you, you strain it. You push away from these things. But that's you fighting against it and resisting the flesh. Because that's called fleshly lust, which is another word for stronghold, which is another word for demonic attacks. You strain the demon. Resist the devil. He going to flee from you. Read.
Yeah, what? Indignation.
Indignation, that means you develop a what? You're angry about it. But it's the oppression making the wise man mad. So you're ready to learn how to attack the demons. And not just attack, but defend yourself against the demons. So you develop this fire in you. It is hate. There's hate in you towards the evil. Right? David said that. I hate the congregation of evildoers. I'm not going to sit among them. And that's relatives too. I'm not sitting amongst them. I'm not being around them. Because they're going to feed negative Nancy information. They're going to feed you with failure. Right? They're going to feed you with negative talk. They're going to feed you with procrastination. They're going to feed you with what? Just do what you feel. Do as thou wilt. Which is not a benefit to what you're trying to do at this point in stage in your life. You're trying to get God's attention. You're trying to break the strongholds. You're trying to learn to love the Lord. You're trying to learn how to please the Lord. You're trying to learn how to help others please the Lord. But you can't do that with strongholds. So you got to let go of the world, is basically what's being said. And be around godly individuals. And let yourself be taught when you're around them. Right? And when you're being taught, they're going to teach you different tools to restrain yourself. Like not being around people that don't care about God. Read.
Yeah, what fear?
Because there's a fear in you. A literal fear because you're seeing that the Lord could have just took you out. But also a fear means you respect him because you've seen how he was merciful. And how he takes care of those that are loyal to him. And you give the Lord your undying loyalty for the love that he showed you. Read.
Yeah, what he desired.
Behemoth desire. Read.
Yeah, what zeal.
And that behemoth desire is like you grow this strong desire to fight against evil. Right? Like all these things, these Marvel characters. If you look at these Marvel characters, they always got some little storyline about something that caused them to want to fight and become a vigilante. Yeah. We're supposed to be vigilantes for righteousness. Literally. They always got some storyline. We got a storyline too. That's cartoon characters, but you got a real storyline. Somebody took your ancestry. You should be vehemently, desirously fight for that. For somebody else to be able to learn that. But you got to do to change it. Because that's the proper step that Christ told us to take. This is the proper step that David took. He said, cleanse me up. Then will I teach transgressors your ways. Clean me first. And once you clean me, I'm going to teach everybody about you. That's in that same prayer, Psalms 51. That's a good chapter 2 to read at home. About the strongholds overcoming. Read.
Yeah, what zeal?
Because now you become zealous, you fiery. Because you start seeing yourself by being no longer being around evil people, sinful people, by allowing a godly man to scourge your thoughts and guide your thoughts, and so that you don't give into the negative mind, you start to see the benefits and the fruits that come from changing. Like, damn, I don't get mad no more over bills. But you start to see what you was doing. You was around, you was counseling, you was asking, and you was making yourself fight against that thought when it came in, based off the counsel you was getting. You're like, damn, this is good. Then you start to try it for other things. Damn, let me resist this thought to be angry with my mom. Let me resist this thought to be angry with my sister. Let me resist this thought to be angry with my spouse. Let me resist this thought to be angry and impatient with the kids. Let me resist that. The same way, I'm going to use the same wisdom that the brother gave me on this one area that excited me to try it on this other area. So you start to develop a zeal and excitement for righteousness. So we're seeing the way to break a stronghold is really just developing a hate for evil and staying and learning to restrain yourself from it. And then getting around the righteous and learning to listen to what the righteous have to give you, which is the wisdom of the Father. This is the pathway to break the strongholds. So it's really is about not giving place to the devil. And who got that Ephesians?
Keep going.
We're going to keep going. But hold that. We're about to go there. Read. No. Yeah.
Yeah, what revenge?
What revenge? Because you're excited. You're ready to take revenge against the evil. The sin, the porn, it caught you. You ready to take sin against, you ready to be a vigilante against it. Right? The weed, you ready to be a vigilante against it. An advocate, you know these people, they always got some sort of advocate program going on. Mm-hmm. I'm a former breast cancer survivor. I'm an advocate for breast cancer awareness. You got to be an advocate for anger management awareness. Right? You got to be an advocate for frustration awareness. But using the Bible to deal with those things. An advocate for staying away from evildoers. For you to be able to develop the strength and then go back and then teach our people that need this word. Go ahead.
In all things, ye have approved yourselves.
But you're clearing yourself. You see it, Nikki?
Yes.
You see, what you get as far as the solutions?
What am I getting as far as the solutions?
Yes.
I love the David, the Psalms 51. And then abstaining.
Right.
Praying.
Mm-hmm.
Being around someone who's had a similar issue, who has conquered it.
Go ahead.
And getting counsel from them as to how they conquered it.
Yeah, and
staying on their doorstep.
Right. And I want to add this too.
We're running after their knowledge of how they, yeah.
I want to add this too. Somebody may not have been through that same issue.
Mm-hmm.
It could have just been their experience in using scriptures and learning how to resist the devil.
True.
It teaches them to how to also fight other demons. Because a demon is a demon. There's different types of demons. There's a lust demon, there's an anger demon. Mm-hmm. But there's somebody that's there to just, that wise man is just, and he's versatile. She's versatile. So they can help you with all issues. You know, you don't have to just seek out the person that
has dealt with that one particular issue.
Yeah. A wise man, it's like the spirit of the Lord. It's manifold, it's diverse.
Gotcha.
So, just wanted to add that on top of what you're saying. But go ahead, no, what you saying?
Yeah, those things are. I'm definitely gonna pray and talk to God about it. And talk to God about it. And like David did, just in fact I like the whole prayer because I read through the prayer that
right.
David prayed.
Yeah, and remember.
Prayer to God and just ask Him to help.
No, go ahead. Yeah, but remember, there's the counsel involved too, right? Because you're there, you know, that's an important part. Because when you pray to God, He's going to send you to somebody, and that's in the flesh. Anyways, to give you the clear answer. Because we can't pray to God and then because I seen a sign, you know what I mean, that said, you're on the right path. Keep serving the Lord. And you're like, that's the answer. That's the salvation. Right. Now, God will he'll throw things in our path as we see through our day. But we know that at the end all be all, He's going to send us to a brother, a sister. Because, to help you walk through that process. And that's why we kept talking about the being around. The being around because your brother's there to help strengthen you to walk through the process. That's why the other scriptures were saying, be around them because you're around them, not just to be around them, but you're around them because they keep you strong. As your willingness to learn is there. And your willingness to apply what they're telling you is there. And that's where the healings come. He said, I sent the word to heal you. But all those scriptures about being around, those are healing scriptures to show you that this is the first step to that healing process. But everything else, the praying, the abstaining, which is basically fasting, and the being around in the congregation, right, receiving the counsel from the wise man, all those things are tools to help. And then the overlay of it is just never giving place to the devil. Never giving him an opportunity to play on your mind. And that's when you got to tap into those tools that we just threw out there, the abstaining, That's a tool to fight, to resist the devil. Abstain, right? A tool to fight against the devil, prayer. A tool to fight against the devil, call a brother. A tool to fight against the devil. I had a long day today. Oh, today, what's today? Class. Let me get there. Right? These are tools. So then now, those tools are basically weapons of war. To slice the demon. Right? And that willingness to follow the instruction is where that's the main key. Because that's where you come into play. Where you got to do the footwork and the mental work to receive these tools and believe that these tools will heal you. And these are spiritual tools that the Most High gives out the Bible. So I just wanted to add that on top of everything he was saying, just so that you can get the gist of everything. Because these are tools, but we want to know how to use them, right? So, and more classes that come out. There's more classes that will come out in these different ways. I mean, everybody's classes that they asked during the Sabbath, that when I asked everybody what class y'all want, it's kind of going to be in these directions to help with these different type of topics. And they're going to pinpoint different things. Because right now, we hit different things, and you obviously something that you deal with has to it cleaves to you. Because we're talking about strongholds, and we point out different demons. But then, like, the sister asks about how to control emotions. That's something direct. There's different types of emotions, but that's something direct, though, still. Because it's specifically talking about the emotions. So that'll be a good topic, too. The brother asks how to study. Study is a defense against letting demons in. Right? Or letting distractions in. That's a way to abstain, study. So these other classes are almost connected to this class that we're going to go into. So then you're basically going to be getting a continuation of what you asked for. If you're looking at it as links. Where you at? You're right.
Last precept, verse 11.
Go ahead.
In all things ye have approved yourselves.
In all things what?
Ye have approved yourselves.
After you took all those steps, after you followed this exact method that's been laid down in 2 Corinthians 7. Because 2 Corinthians 7 basically is what David had to do to be able to come through and overcome that fault, that shortcoming. Let's get this. Go ahead.
To be clear in this matter.
And that matter is the sin. That matter is the doubt. You want to be clear in those things. And let's read how David was clear, how he acted this out. Go to 2 Samuel 12 and 20. Oh, where you at? 4 and 7, 4 and 27. Just get to 2 Samuel 12 and 20, but he'll read this Ephesians out loud.
Ephesians 4:27.
Yeah.
Ephesians,
write that down.
Ephesians chapter 4, verse 27. Never give place to the devil.
And that's what David did. That's the gist of the healing. Never give place to the devil. But it comes with all the things and all the tools we were just talking about to use. It's about these things help you to never give place to the devil, so that you don't fall short, right? But let's go to David, 2 Samuel chapter 12, verse 20. And then the last scripture we're going to go to is Nahum 1 and 7. Somebody hold Nahum 1 and 7. That'll be the last one. Go ahead.
2 Samuel chapter 12, verse 20.
How did David not give place to the devil? What did he do after his prayer? What actions was he taking to clear himself of this matter? What actions was he taking to be careful? How did he apply the indignation that the Lord said in this godly sorrow? Read.
Then David arose from the earth.
So this is when his son died. The son that came from Bathsheba the first time when he originally committed the adultery. The Most High killed the child. Right? But he was fasting. Read it on. Go ahead.
And washed and anointed himself.
So before this, he was fasting in hopes that the Father had mercy on the child as well. However the Lord was going to show mercy, he wanted the Lord to be able to show mercy. And he was fasting and praying and wearing that sackcloth to be able to capture the Lord's attention. So he was staying in the Word. He basically went and hibernated in his chambers with the Word and prayer. And of course, the wise man was coming and checking up on him. Right? So, but at this point, he realized what he did was wrong. The Lord set the stage for his judgment. So, but what did he do? Did he go wallow in the mire after the Lord showed the mercy? The mercy was, you ain't dead, your wife ain't dead, now you didn't get the child to live, but now you got to deal with the repercussions of your actions. Right? You lost a child. But now he's trying to clear himself of this matter. And his clearing himself was what? Fasting, praying, asking for forgiveness. Fasting, praying, asking for forgiveness. And then counsel obviously being mingled in there. But let's see what he do. Read. Right after he did all that work. Right after he did all that work, what did he do? Read.
And changed his apparel.
So he washed himself. He went and go get cleaned up. He anointed himself. Basically, the priest praying over him. And he changed his apparel. And did what?
And came into the house of the Lord.
And did what?
And worship.
No, he went and cried.
And worship.
He went and stayed sad.
And worship.
So we're supposed to go after that process of that prayer, that fasting, that abstaining. We're supposed to go seek out the Lord. But the difference with us, we're doing that right now all together. Because we got a lot of things to clean up. We got a lot of things to be fasting for. We got a lot of things to be praying for. And we got a lot of things to show our gratitude to the Lord for. And we're supposed to get up like David and go pray and go straight to worship. You're like, oh damn, I just fell short yesterday, 2 days ago. I don't want to show my face, I'm ashamed. No, you come to class. You pray, you ask for forgiveness, you seek the counsel, and you come to class. And you get the scourging that you need. David got up and went to work, went to worship. You think he wasn't hearing things that was purifying his heart? He was hearing things that was cleansing his spirit. Read.
Then he came to his own house. And when he required, they set bread before him.
Go ahead.
And he did eat.
And he ate. He's moving forward with his life now. The Lord made a decision. I'm going to move forward. I'm not going to dwell on the past any longer. The Lord's giving me the tools to be healed. I'm using them. Let me believe in what the methods the Father gave me to be healed. And I will be healed through the belief and the discipline and giving myself to it. That's where the healing comes from. Your belief as well. David believed and he moved forward. Go ahead.
Verse 21. Then said his servants
Go ahead.
unto him, what thing is this that thou hast done? Thou didst fast and weep for the child.
They were perplexed that he was able to just get up and go serve the Most High. But this is that behemoth desire. This is that zeal. This is him ready to take revenge against the fault that he just committed. He acted on the change. He acted on the thing that he was praying and fasting for.
Yeah.
The mercy to get right. The mercy to teach transgressors his ways. After he get right. After he's cleared of his matter. He swiftly went to go do what? Back to regular duties. Read.
Thou didst fast and weep for the child while it was alive. But when the child was dead, thou didst rise and eat bread.
Right? You was doing all these things when the child was weeping, but now you just all of a sudden just ready to eat and chill and lock in with bros again. You ready to just get focused again? Read it. All of a sudden, he didn't lose focus. He fell short. His focus he went locked into the spirit to ask for the forgiveness and wept. Right? Wept, he prayed to the Most High that he would have mercy on the child. But now he's moving forward with his life. He's not dwelling on the past no longer. His past life is no longer him. The old man is no longer him. His is him striving forward to create a new version of himself, being a new creature in Christ, trusting in the Lord's method. That's a part of it, trusting in the Lord's method. That when you get the counsel from the minister, you pray to the Most High. He puts somebody in front of you. You hear the word from this person. You hear the correction. Your job is to now receive and believe that this is the word of the Most High. And that the Most High sent this minister and put him in front of you to give you that word. And David believed that. He believed everything Nathan told him. And he went and did what he's supposed to do. Pray, fast, weep, and then get up and do what? Back to regular schedule. Move forward your life. That's the past now. Read.
Verse 22. And he said, while the child was yet alive,
Go ahead.
I fasted and wept. For I said, who can tell whether God will be gracious to me,
Go ahead.
that the child may live?
Go ahead.
But now he is dead. Wherefore should I fast?
God made his judgment. I'm not going to fight against the Lord. That's where we mess up. Fighting against the Lord is double thinking the Lord's mercy. Double thinking the Lord's opportunity that's given. And it causes you to go in a cycle of those spiritual and physical strongholds, and you play with those things. The what ifs. I can't. I'm not good enough. I'm too this. I'm too that. I'll never be this. I will never be able to overcome that. That's vain thoughts. You wasting time on the time that's being given to you while you're walking and breathing. Read.
But now he is dead. Wherefore should I fast? Can I bring him back again? I shall go to him, but he shall not return to me.
I'm gonna go to his grave. If I was to go to his grave, he ain't gonna come up out of that grave.
Right.
The Lord made his decision. I'm moving forward. I'm changing. I'm taking revenge against myself for the evil that I allowed to jump on me. The evil spirit I allowed to take hold of me. But this is what David understood. Nahum 1:7. Nahum 1:7. This will be it.
Nahum chapter 1, verse 7. The Lord is good.
The Lord is what?
The Lord is good.
But look at the flip of words though. We're talking about strongholds the whole time and it being a demonic attack. But look at this. Look how it's used in this verse. Read.
A stronghold in the day of trouble.
The Lord is good. He's a what?
A stronghold in the day of trouble.
But the Lord is supposed to be our stronghold. The demon ain't supposed to be a stronghold. The Lord is supposed to be a stronghold.
Right.
And David understood that. But he slipped. He messed up. So you have to make the Lord your stronghold for you to overcome a stronghold. For you to overcome a demon, you got to make the Lord the stronghold, the defense. And I got this definition real quick. Stronghold, a place that has been fortified as to protect against an attack. A place that has been fortified so as to protect it against attack. A place where a particular cause or belief is strongly defended or upheld. This is the truth. You are Hebrew, that's your language. Israelite, that's your nationality. The Bible, your laws, your statutes, your commandments. This is your fortress of defense when you walk in this world. The Word of God. And knowing that His goodness and His heart is to what? Save you from your sins. Save you from your troubles. Save you from your uneasiness. This is the defense. This should be your only stronghold. This should be the only stronghold we have. The Lord is a what? Is good.
The Lord is good.
A
stronghold in the day of trouble.
Go ahead. A stronghold in the day of what?
Of trouble.
He gonna save you in that trouble. So when that sinister, evil thought try to jump in, the Lord will save you. And David figured this out. That's why he said it was good that I was afflicted, that I might know thy statutes. That's why he said it was good. Because now he comprehends the severity, the seriousness of why it's important to follow the Most High. Read.
And he knows them that trust in him.
And he know it. That means he having conversations about you in heaven. When you show that you trust in him. Hey, make sure that car don't hit your rider. Hey, make sure Miss Nikki get home safe. Make sure Tara Ross sleeps easy. No demons bother him. Tell Satan go get a donut. Right? Hey, make sure Armand is flourishing. Keep it humble. And then Christ is right there advocating for you. I like that, Father. Keep blessing him. Keep blessing him. While Satan's trying to do what? Talk against you. But the Most High do what? He ain't hearing that. When we stick into trusting in him, that's why he said he know them that trusted in him. He know them that trust in him. Read that last part again.
And he knows them that trust in him.
Because you really believe that he's your fortress, he's your rock, he's your protector, he's your savior, he's your healer, he's your everything, right? He's your confidant, he's your dad, right? He's your lover, he's your mother, he's your father, he's your brother, he's your cousin. He's supposed to be the most dearest thing to you. And when he becomes the most dearest thing to you, where he's the stronghold, then you'll start being careful to not allow other things to have a stronghold on you. Because now you allowing the fear of the Lord to dwell upon you. You're fighting. You're fighting. But that's class. It's 10-4-6. But I didn't want to make sure I get you the whole pie. You know, so I wanted to make sure I get you the whole pie. Hopefully that was good for everybody, not just Miss Nikki. I know Miss Nikki asked for it. Hopefully that was good for the brothers and sisters online. It's 10:46. We went over, but it was needed. It was needed for what Sister Nikki needed. So,
Thank you.
huh?
Thank you.
No, I'm younger boy. I'm looking for the word. So with that, we're gonna say to everybody online, Shalom.
Shalom.